Hello there, everyone, and you join us from Cologne Airstrip, or whatever the fuck is going on in the background with Kristi. I'm Kevin and that. Hello, Dr. Kristi Winters. How are you?
I'm Kristi in that. How are you, Kev? Answer your
I'm all
question
right in
with a
that.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Am I bothered?
So, are you bothered? I don't know.
I don't know. Am I
Uh,
bothered? Am I bothered?
Well, I can't help but feel this is getting racist now.
Yeah, all those Essex Karens that are so upset about that reference. Anyway.
And you know that's a big part of our core demographic, the
Yeah.
Essex Karen.
Yes, with the Croydon facelift.
Or the wannabe Kristi, as I like to call them. Yeah, that's right. I've not forgotten where you're from.
Yes. I do have my PhD from Essex, so.
Essex is like a kind of stink. Once it's on you, it's there.
Yes.
It's like stepping in dog shit. You've got to scrape it off, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm always looking to like dress slightly like a tart and get drunk in the high street and get in a fight and maybe piss in an alley. You know, really.
Genuinely. This is gonna. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I haven't met her since. But anyway, when I was at college during my first year and all the rest of it, I went out exploring the country and stuff. And I went to stay with a friend who I'd met at college. It's in Essex, a lovely little town called Rayleigh, which is just outside Southend. Shithole, absolute shithole.
Southend is a shithole. It's so is really.
I just adore. No, Rayleigh's not too bad.
Okay.
Rayleigh's like a kind of vaguely middle class suburb or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, and we went out for a drink in the evening, as you do. Got absolutely hammered. So my first experience of ever like interacting with a female from Essex, really. Female, Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Femoid.
A femoid, yeah. One of the vaginally afflicted. Yes. My friend's friend from back home wanted me to shield her in the alleyway as she took a piss and shit in the alleyway.
Well, once you're squatting, you're kind of already halfway there.
Yeah, but I mean, why am I having to shield? I'm acting like a toilet door. That's what you want me to do here.
Did you put that on your CV? I could see that as relevant work experience.
I just thought it's weird. And not just that, but we were just in the fucking bar. Why didn't you go to the toilet? Why did you wait until we got out of the bar to decide you needed to void yourself? Yeah. Come on now.
Have you ever seen the toilets inside of a pub, though? Especially when near Southend. She's probably cleaner. I mean, obviously she maybe had some loo roll in her purse. But to take a shit in an alleyway, that's pretty rough. That's pretty...
Yeah. Yeah, and yes, I know how bad, we've talked about this before, men's toilets especially are fucking disgusting. Yeah, but I'll still shit in a toilet than an alleyway.
No, wait, I have a question. Did she say, can you be on the lookout while I take a piss and a shit? Or did she just start with a piss and then having to commit to the shit?
I think the shit was a decision she made midstream.
Yeah, so I was going to say, she's probably already, she'd already committed without realizing it.
Exactly, and again, once you've crossed the Rubicon, there's no going back. The Poopicon, if you will. High class beginning to the show as always. A little bit of an Essex alleyway shitting action.
How have you not told that story before? That is an amazing story.
Because it's not something I'm enormously proud of, if I'm honest. I mean, it's not something I'm ashamed of. I did the gentlemanly thing of thinking, well, I could either leave. I mean, I don't really know her, but I could just leave this woman to piss and shit exposed to the world. Because it was not like a very, very. It was quite dark, but not a very narrow alleyway. People you see into the alleyway. So I had to stand there with my coat sort of puffed out.
Yeah.
So it looked kind of an effective shield.
Yeah. Elbows akimbo.
Yes.
Pointed out.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And
taking up space.
And oh God. Well, and then I thought to myself, well, at the start of the night, I was thinking to myself, I might try and cup off with this one.
At that point, like I don't know. Are you more committed?
Even in my drunken stupor, I was thinking. I mean, I don't even know if she's wiped her shitty ass. I mean, I mean, going down can be tricky at the best of times, but you don't need that nonsense going on.
Well, and with that opening to the show, should we segue to another shit in an alleyway?
Yeah, let's do that. This, believe it or not, we're about to see Stephen Crowder get absolutely rinsed, which is hilarious. But Stephen Crowder arguably is morally less stimulating than a shit in an alleyway, frankly. So
yeah, agreed.
I feel like that was the high point of the show, really.
Yeah, we've done the classy bit now. That was a classy
exactly.
bit.
Now on to Stephen Crowder. Yeah. But anyway, no. But on a serious point, we had to show this, right? I saw the Surfs show this video because I wouldn't watch a fucking 47-minute long
I was wondering
live stream
found this.
of Stephen Crowder walking through Dallas, Texas, looking at smashed windows, going, "Oh look, smashed windows." Like literally, that's the entire bit until he stumbles upon this guy whose name I don't think we ever learn, but. Well, I don't give a fuck if you're eating, Phantom. Shit in an alleyway, it happened. This is you come on this show, you get the real fucking world, okay? Not sanitized, literally, not sanitized in the slightest. So anyway, so Stephen Crowder bumps into this dude who's doing street art, right? He's obviously from the town. This is against the boarded up windows of a smashed shop after a riot that had taken place in the wake of the murder of George Floyd and all of that, right? We all know the kind of mood music. And this dude, clearly, look at that painting. That's amazing. This guy's a really talented dude and a really clever motherfucker. Stephen Crowder did not know what he was getting into. But this is the really funny bit. This is on Stephen Crowder's channel. He has kept this up on his channel. And I can only think he's decided that, I don't know, fucking self-respect is for figs, presumably. I don't know.
All right. By the way, someone in the chat is asking for you to make public the interview you did with the Atheist Experience staff who left over the trans issue.
Oh, I will. Well, it's actually unlisted, so you can get it on the channel, but I will make it public. But also on that point, thank you for reminding me, randomly person, whoever the fuck that was.
Was it Nat's Lovebug?
Hello, Nat's Lovebug. Anyway, thank you for that. Because I've got a pimp out a thing I'm doing tomorrow. Tracy Harris from the Atheist Experience, who was part of the interviews, the aforementioned interviews, she got in contact with me, and there's a group called Truth and Transparency who deal with like religious bigotry and exposing that in America. They put out some videos from Jehovah's Witness conference. The Jehovah's Witnesses have taken them to court over this. Yeah, ridiculous. And so they've decided to fight the case rather than just take like a plea bargain because they know they're innocent. Okay. But you know, all the rest of it. So I'm going to be speaking with Tracy tomorrow and at least one guy, possibly two guys, from the Truth and Transparency organisation on my channel at 4 p.m. UK time, which is 11 a.m. on the East Coast. So join us for that, and we'll discuss all of the goings on with that, and you can hopefully contribute to the incredibly expensive legal process, which is one of the reasons that system needs to be transformed, because it means that rich bastards like the Jehovah's Witnesses can fuck over people who are just telling the truth.
Yep, definitely.
Anyway, so good. Join me on my channel for that interview tomorrow. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thanks for the info. I'm going to test something on my computer here. Nope, that didn't work.
Please do.
All right. So, is there anything else you want to say to set up this clip?
This is amazing.
Okay.
He walks through the streets of Dallas, points at the shop windows and as well that they're smashed, and says, "Oh yeah," and makes the same repeated joke about apparently the BLM protests have cured COVID.
What?
Which is his allusion to the idea that apparently having protests is bad because COVID, but now they're having protests, so that's bad as well, or something.
Outside with masks and social distancing, which is not what the far right in London are doing, which we'll get to later.
Yes, indeed. So he does that repeatedly. I know. I was just shocked as well to see Stephen Crowder misusing logic and repeating a joke over and over and over. Anyway, he then randomly bumps into this chap, starts talking, and this guy I think he thought this guy was going to be thick as shit because Stephen Crowder was used to dealing with people on his channel who were thick as shit. You know, people like Tim Paul. So he starts chatting away, and this guy absolutely buries him, metaphorically, of course. But yeah, for like 6 or 7 minutes, amazing.
Looking forward to this. Also, someone, Ollie. Hello, Ollie, in the chat says he's a local artist. The blue bit of the board is designated for art by the local community.
Indeed. Well, I wasn't going to necessarily explain that because there's a guy that comes along later, and Stephen goes full Karen as this guy tries to explain that to him. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here we go. We'll do a test of the audio and make sure it's not too loud for you.
Don't we have time for the truth, though?
Yeah, just the truth. That's all we got time
for example,
okay. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
George Floyd, terrible. The man has been charged with third-degree murder, right? Right. That's a good thing.
He said he got what? No, that's not good.
They've been charged with third-degree murder.
It's not good because it happened.
No, I'm saying it's as close to it. Obviously, it wouldn't be good.
No, it's not good because it happened.
No, I'm not saying it's good, but I'm saying at least at that point the officer has been held accountable.
No, I don't give a fuck about none of that. That shit don't matter, bro.
So what would you want?
What matters is the message get out that was not right. That's what matters.
Well, I think the message is out.
No, I don't think so.
Do you think that breaking windows and the looting gets the message out, or do you think it hurts the message?
All of it is the message. Everything, all of it is a part of the message, whether it's looting, whether it's painting on buildings, whether it's drawing on t-shirts, whether it's wearing certain shoes. All of it is the message, and it all needs to get out. It all needs to get out.
Well, let me say, I think this is, I don't know the story exactly. I think this is beautiful.
Everybody can't draw.
I think this, well, that's true. But people can't loot. People can't commit crimes because then that's a violation of other people's rights.
But the police can kill people.
No, they can't. They shouldn't.
But they have been.
They have been. And now people are looting and both are crimes.
No, and now people are rising up. That's what it is. People is rising up. It ain't looting.
Is this rising up?
I'm gonna tell you. Is it justice when the black man got to die for something he didn't even do? Ask that.
No, it's not justice.
No, it's not.
Neither is looting and rioting.
No, I'm gonna tell you what.
Neither is shooting innocent people.
I'm gonna tell you what is looting, and I'm gonna tell you what.
Breaking into a store.
I'm gonna tell you who is getting treated unfairly.
Okay.
Black people is getting treated unfairly. We built this country on our fucking backs.
He's right.
Every day. We still get up and pay taxes, but yet we still get treated like we are not human. That's what's not fair. That's what's looting. Us putting our time into this city and into this state and into this world, and yet we still getting treated like we animals. That's what's looting. So stealing our time.
What should happen?
Stealing our time we could be spending with our families instead of going out here and working these jobs to pay taxes for the same police officers who don't give a fuck about us. That's why the people are looting, because they are showing us that there is no future. Without no peace, there is no future. We sparing y'all. The people are sparing all the
sparing you.
The
who?
people
y'all? Who's y'all?
The people who don't care. All y'all who paying these high-rises.
For reasons of it has to be transformational and all the rest of it, we have to do commentary on this. I like the fact that the thing he pulls him up on is all of y'all. Who's y'all? Like, Stephen Crowder is clearly the offended racial minority here, clearly. Like, you can see the beginnings of the want to be Karen mindset in it there. Like, who's y'all? Who are you referring to there? Like, fuck you. Not just that, but trying to draw an equivalence between smashing windows and choking people to death in the fucking street. Like, I don't even know where to begin with how disgusting Stephen Crowder is.
Yeah. And he keeps bringing it back to property, and he's ignoring lies. Oh, no, it's definitely bad about death, so let's talk about property damage. How about, let's say looting is an ideal. Let's talk about the deaths. Isn't that more important? Honestly, because that's what's driving this. That's what was at the core of this. This is what started this. If police weren't murdering black people, you wouldn't have this civil unrest. So stop focusing on the symptom. Focus on the fucking problem. The problem is people are dying. People are dying. So don't just go, oh yeah, that's fine. We've dealt with that now. Clearly we've not. Also, I turned the sound up a bit as requested by Kristi. So I see you in the chat, and I control the volume.
Yes. Okay. But like I say, so we're only two minutes into this. It goes on for like about 7 or 8 minutes. Oh. And the guy doesn't let up. The guy's fucking. I mean, because to be fair, he's sort of minding his own business, doing his painting on the wall, and this fucking prick walks up to him and is like, "So, what do you think about the smashed windows?" Like, fucking hell.
Yeah. Like, so bourgeois. He's so white middle class.
It is. He is white privilege personified. I'm just going to walk amongst this rubble and talk to the common folk, one of the coloureds, you know. Oh, for fuck's sake!
With my expensive equipment,
this guy absolutely
and tut. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he doesn't let up. it goes for him.
No, I want to just give this guy some props for his technique because, Crowder is trying to control the conversation by posing questions. And this guy is not going to take the bait. He's got something to say. He's going to just keep talking. And when you get in these media situations, just speak your truth. Either they're going to use the film or they're not, but don't let them play your games and ask you questions and then tear you apart. Just speak your truth and let them try to interrupt you, but just ignore them. Just keep going. And he's doing a great job of that. Okay, so now with louder sound.
In these very expensive buildings, and y'all hiding out.
They should be.
Yeah, y'all should be hiding because y'all the ones who are turning y'all heads to the mistreatment that's going on.
But what if they're not? What if they're not?
Y'all is getting spared right now because the people in this world is showing y'all that we want peace. We showing y'all that we want a future. That's why everything ain't burnt down yet.
That's showing peace. I don't understand.
That's showing peace.
Because I want you to understand. I support.
What is peace? This is. Hold on. Let me tell you something.
Yeah, well, hold on. Can I speak?
Was raised on America was raised on the Bible. That's what it said, right? But how come the people who so-called run America, who said it was ran off the Bible, is not treating the people like the Bible said the people need to be treated?
Well, that sounds like a lot of generalizations. I think some white people are, and some white people aren't. And
Man,
I think
we
some.
ain't got time for some. That's the problem. That's the problem, bro. This is the thing right here. Everybody needs to be held accountability. Accountability needs to take action in every nation because black people has to take accountability. Every time a white person call the police,
black people have to take accountability
listen to me for a second.
Yes,
every time a white person call the police, what they say? A black man, meaning black people have to take accountability.
Yeah.
So when these white people was killing these officers, white people need to take accountability for what white people do too.
Sure.
Just like black people take accountability. Every time a black man do something, what do the news say? Black man this and black man that. But let a white man do something. And you better not X this out too. Every time a white man do something, what they say? A man.
No.
Yes, they do. They don't never say white man.
Let me ask you this.
That's not fair, bro.
What do you think? How should I be
man.
held accountable?
Man, listen, man.
I'm trying to see how I can do my part.
No,
what do you think I should?
You know how to do your part. This is what you do. If
I
you're
don't.
not racist, I'm gonna tell you this, and I hope y'all get this on camera.
I'm not racist.
If you're not racist and you're a white person of any other nationality, or you are any other nationality besides black, and you go home and you hear your friends and your people talk about our people like we ain't nothing, but when they go to school, they want to be best friends with us, and they want to be like us, and they want to listen to the music that we produce.
Yes.
Isn't that a good thing?
I'm gonna tell you something.
Shut
y'all
up,
need to speak up
Charlie.
and tell y'all people to stop being racist. Stop it.
Okay, stop being racist.
Because y'all sons.
Stop being racist.
No, I don't even see it recorded. Because y'all sons and y'all daughters.
Stop being racist.
Y'all sons and
Stop
y'all
being
daughters
racist.
love us.
Sure.
Y'all sons and y'all daughters, let they come to school, they want to be like us.
Okay. Isn't that a good thing if they like?
No, so stop telling them to be racist. Stop speaking.
No, I just said
racist
don't be
in front of
racist.
them.
Don't be racist.
That's how you take accountability.
Yeah.
Go home.
Don't be
Go
racist.
home. Don't come out here.
He's just saying the words. He doesn't actually mean it.
Yeah, don't be racist. Don't be racist. Like, you can tell him by his tone of voice. What a wanker.
Yeah.
Like, he's lucky he's got a crowd with him because this black dude's within his rights. He's taking the piss now. If he'd knocked him the fuck out at this point, don't be racist. Don't be like, you're obviously taking the piss.
Yeah, he keeps trying to bait him and pull him off to completely different questions. He's not listening to what he has to say at all. He's pushing back and defending white racism and saying, "Oh, white people are doing our bit," and white people, no, we're not as a community. We're not as a white culture in America. Because if we have been doing our work, then George Floyd would not be dead. Eric Garner would not be dead. Hundreds of black people in America who were executed by the police before they were even charged would not be dead. So clearly it is on white culture because we're the ones in charge. This is our failure. It's happening on our watch, and we're not the ones paying the price. So when the people who do pay the price have something to say, we need to shut the fuck up and listen. Because they have a right to be angry and upset and mad. Because we would be if we were them. You know, if we weren't protected by our whiteness, where would we be? Okay. Sorry, you have anything else you want to say before I hit play?
No, I'm good, man.
Okay. All right. Play.
And pretend in front of your friends because y'all grouped up and it's 5 white people and y'all want to sit around and talk about black people because they are in a group.
No, I'm just asking you. I think it's good art.
That. Don't be biased.
Well,
don't be a
mob.
I'm just saying. I don't know if it's you, but it could be you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you.
See, exactly. You can't trust. I mean, this is it. Like when we talked about the protest, you have white supremacists, you have overwhelmingly white cops, you have good white progressives, and then you have some white people who are anarchists who want to start shit, right? White people don't know who to trust. They can't judge you by the color, you know, they're like looking at your skin tone. They know that you mean well or not. So Crowder expects to be trusted. This is like a white privilege. Like, treat me like I'm a good person. And you don't see it from the other person's point of view. Why should I trust you? You just put a camera in my face. You just put a microphone in front of me. I don't know you. I don't know you're not a racist. And white people aren't used to being like having to be confronted with the fact that it's our culture and white people who are doing the oppression. We're not entitled to be treated like we're not a racist person when somebody doesn't know us.
Yeah, well, it's always not shocked me, but disgusted me that there's so much distrust of black people from white people, even though in my life, virtually all of the people who've ever fucked me over have been white. And considering how white people get trusted, even though they've shown themselves consistently throughout history to be untrustworthy. Yeah. I mean, literally, the land you're on right now was stolen from Mexico. You're in Dallas.
Oh, not just that. I mean, my great-grandmother got 40 acres in the Homestead Act. Where did that land in Wisconsin come from? It didn't just fall out of the sky. They cleared away native peoples in order to give that land to white people.
Well, if it's Wisconsin, that's Canada, isn't it? So,
pretty much.
Came from Justin Trudeau, presumably.
All right, so culture shocks is like, can you not equate anarchists with people who want to start shit? But it was the anarchists who were smashing stuff. So, I mean... There
are some fantastic... I mean, I'm going to slightly side with culture shocks. I wasn't going to pull you up on it, but as it's been raised, there are some fantastic anarchists involved in all of this. Some of the mutual aid societies that are doing things with feeding underprivileged groups and stuff, and redirecting stuff that's been looted to communities that need it. I think that's a glorious thing. But there undoubtedly are some anarchists who just want to smash it up. They're a kind of left-wing sort of version of what we saw in London today with right-wing fuckers who just want to smash it up. Like, you may have political goals, but this isn't a protest. This is just you venting.
Yeah, and I have to deal with people like treating Dems as a group all the time and calling them shit. So, like, yeah, that sort of happens. So, but I guess we've done that little, like, there are good and bad people in every group. Sort of disclaimer now. Yeah. All right, hitting play.
Looted, but it could be you. But I'm assuming it's not.
But we're not here talking about that, though. We talking about what the problem is. No, we're not talking about.
I think the problem is rioting and looting.
Is Gabriel looted?
Yeah, I think that's a problem.
Did you ask me, is Gabriel looted?
Is your name Gabriel?
Did you ask me, is Gabriel looted?
Do you mean like Archangel, Great Gabriel?
You never asked me, is Gabriel looted? So that's not what we talking about. What we talking about is
how
do we hold accountability? How do we hold accountability as a nation? That's what's important, because that's what's going on. Just like I said, every time your people call...
Whoa, that's pretty racist. Yeah. Don't be racist.
Fuck off, Crowder. You're a white person. If you're hypersensitive about being called white, you have to deal with your problems. Because you call black people, and black crime and black community all the time. Fuck off with that shit. It's so outrage.
And exactly. It's so obviously performative.
Yes.
And I can now understand perfectly well why, okay, she didn't mention him by name, but Blair White was clearly calling him out when she said it was fake.
Crowder?
This is clearly performative. Yeah.
Oh, what did Blair White have to say?
Oh, this was ages ago. Do you remember when she sort of almost left the right?
Oh,
a few
right.
months back?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and she was like, there are so many people
who are fake
in this thing who are like, total fakes. They don't really believe it. It's just performing. It's just for the bit. And everyone assumed it was Crowder.
Oh, I thought it was Dave Rubin.
Oh, well, that's obvious. I mean, that's transparent as fuck, obviously, yeah. But
okay.
But nothing will ever be talking of Rubin and Blair White, nothing will ever be Candace Owens versus Blair White with Dave Rubin going, guys, for 10 minutes. It was hilarious.
Yes, yeah. And the Creationist Cat spoof of that was even better.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, hitting play again after Crowder's fake pearl clutching.
Bro,
don't say your people.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
What if I said your people and said you're all criminals? That's terrible.
What that is, that's a fact.
My people what?
White people your people is the one who's calling the police saying black people. That's not a
I don't call the police and say black people unless a black person commits a crime.
Stop talking for a second. You came to record me.
I was asking about your art.
Stop talking for...
I love this guy. I love this guy. Good.
You see what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not letting him off here at all. But, I mean, Stephen Crowder, this is still up on his channel. Well, how does he think this makes him look good in any way?
Yeah. Yeah, shut up and let the man talk. As he points out, you came over to him, you put a camera and a microphone in his face. Now shut up. Look at his gormless.
Exactly, yeah.
Look at his gormless look on his face. Ugh.
He is, yeah. He's ridiculous. Yeah.
I think he's slightly shitting his pants right there.
I think that's fair, yeah.
For a second.
Well, no, I'm asking you a question.
No,
you say you
stop
people.
talking. You
I don't
can't
think
even stop
that's
talking.
racist.
You're not even humble enough to stop talking. How you
Go
gonna
ahead,
come
sir.
to ask black people about what they're going through, but you can't even humble yourself to stop talking?
You talk most of the time.
He can't stop talking. He can't stop.
Oh, look,
talking.
he's even crossing his arms.
Yep, he's getting defensive now.
Oh, Stephen, your body language is suggesting that your balls are crawling back inside you.
He realizes he's getting owned.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to waste my time?
I'm not want. I want to know what should we do?
Listen.
I'm listening.
Listen.
Yeah.
Your people, when they call the police
White
on our
people.
people,
White
yes,
people.
when the
Okay.
white skin complexion call the police on the black skin complexion, they say black people.
Yeah.
So that means that nations need
Some
to take-
people do,
And that's not a racist
but not all
comment.
white people.
Just listen, man. Stop interrupting me. Please.
He literally not
interrupting me.
all white people them.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
literally not all him.
Yep.
Jesus. Okay.
God.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy cannot shut his fucking mouth. Shut up, Crowder.
Yeah.
Shut up. Show him some respect. All he is doing is showing what a racist he is by not showing him the respect that he shows Tim Pool. You think he talks over
Yeah.
Tim Pool and everything Tim Pool says?
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly. He didn't talk over Stefan Molyneux explaining racial IQ differences.
Nope.
Let him go on ad nauseum about that. This black dude wants to say his piece, even though the black dude was minding his own fucking business. He didn't want to talk to Stephen
Yeah.
Crowder. Crowder came up to him with a camera.
Yep.
Like, come on now. Jesus.
You're just showing what a racist you are
Yeah.
through your actions. Okay.
Please.
Go ahead.
Your people, white people, is what I said.
Right.
And that's not a racist comment. That's a fact.
You
Because that's
said-
what. Stop, don't interrupt
No,
me.
but you're wrong. You're
Don't
saying
interrupt
racist
me.
shit,
Don't
man.
interrupt me.
You can't say you people do and then say not all white people are the same. Just like not all black people are the same.
Yeah, good.
Not all white people are the same. Just like not all black people are the
I'm
same.
done talking to you.
Does the owner know that you're doing this? Did you talk with him about it? Is this art
This is
or
where he's
graffiti?
Karen.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it art or is this your business?
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
Is this your business?
Thank you, bro.
It's not your business?
The interview is over. I'm gonna start recording. You keep harassing
Is this a business?
me. Yeah.
Is it your business?
Now.
No.
Okay. Let's have someone call the police about if it's to find out if it's a business.
So, yeah. He's just being the fucking white man that this guy was complaining about. He is being...
Yeah, Stephen Crowder literally said, I don't call
Yeah.
police on black people.
And then you
just-
literally...
what the fuck?
You fucking asshole.
What is that? But you do realise that's not the window of the shop. That's a boarded up thing. So when the shop reopens, that won't be there, Stephen. So
God.
I don't know what you think is taking place here that needs the police's attention.
God, this
But as
is...
was previously described, if you want to carry on for a bit, you can. Yeah, the blue painted thing is the sign that, you can put stuff up here. That's fine.
So does the white
Not the-
person have to get in here and show him along? Is that what happens?
Essentially, but there's one fantastic line where he absolutely, well, it's a lovely little insult.
Should
he
we
gives
just
him
keep
in a
going?
second.
Okay.
Yeah,
keep
go
going.
for it.
Okay.
Also, yes,
What am I bullshitting?
let's not gloss over that beard. Come on now, that is a thing of epic beauty.
Yep. Okay.
Anyway,
Did a little rewind there. Okay.
About if it's to find out if it's a business.
Yeah.
What am I bullshitting?
Yeah,
Why you
he's allowed to
bullshitting?
do this.
No, he's
allowed
not.
to do this. I'm not
How
all
would
over
you
the
know?
news.
Because it's private property.
I'm part of
Maybe the
Community
business owner is
Association.
fine with it.
I'm part of the Community Association.
Okay,
He's
what does that
allowed to
mean?
do this. Deep Ellum Community Association.
Is allowing people
I'm
to
the
paint.
vice president. We allow busking and we allow murals.
So who's the name of this business owner? What's his name?
I don't know. His
None of your business.
Is he okay with it? Don't get behind me.
okay
None
with
of your
it.
business.
Oh no, the black man is
Business
behind me. Oh, I'm a racist. I'm scared. I'm Steven Crowder. I'm a piece of shit, and I'm worried this guy. Oh, let me talk to the white man because I respect him. What a piece of shit this guy is. What a piece of shit Crowder is. All right, sorry. We're gonna allow to keep running.
More than
No,
once.
he's done this twice.
He's done this twice at the business.
Business is
Y'all see
okay
this?
with it.
What's the name of the
They
business
haven't-
owner?
they haven't
Who's
stopped.
He's
okay
using
with
his
it?
white privilege to try to stop me.
So y'all-
Well, if it's vandalism,
It is
I'm just saying-
vandalism.
I think it's beautiful.
Let's just be done with
But how about this?
Coward, bro.
I'll bring in a canvas.
Yeah,
I'm not
he
a coward.
is.
I just sat there and spoke with you.
He is doing the Karen. He's like, I can't. Here's something. I'm gonna try to police you because you're a black person. I'm gonna call the police because I'm a fucking chicken shit. This is exactly the sort of passive aggressive misuse of police resources that the whole conversation was about. Crowder is such a fucktard. Sorry, he's just, I don't know. There's so many words, He's,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I demand to dox the owner. Yeah. Fuck you, Crowder. Like you give a fuck about this man's business. You just want to shit on this black dude.
This should be on Twitter.
Anyway.
Really needs to be on Twitter and circulated, because someone needs to pull this down and clip this out and do one of those now this on this, explaining this bullshit and calling him out for his Karen
the Serbs, the Serbs who have a bigger platform than both of us combined, they've already done it. So I feel like
on their channel or on Twitter?
It's gotten out there on Twitch.
Okay, yeah, I think it should be on Twitter. Well,
yeah, I think I saw it on Twitter, didn't I? I think, if I recall. I don't know.
Okay, all right. So is there a little bit more?
The days are all the same.
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I'll keep going.
You're a coward.
Really?
You can't face me. You're a coward.
I'm facing you
Yeah.
right
What's your
now.
name?
My name's Stephen Crowder.
You're a coward.
What's your
Stephen
name?
Coward.
What's
Stephen Coward.
What's your name?
I'm Gabriel Thomas.
Gabriel
And
Thomas.
you're being a coward.
How am I being a coward?
Because you're
I'm
trying to
trying
stop
to
me.
talk with. I'm not. I
You're
do.
trying
I
to
don't
stop
think you
me.
should vandalize.
You're trying to stop me.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I
I
think
ain't
this
vandalizing
neighborhood.
nothing.
encourage murals down
Vandalizing.
here.
That's
You
not
encourage murals, but does the
vandalizing.
business owner encourage murals?
Get out of
Every
here.
business
Get
out
out of
here
here.
encourages
Get out of here.
murals.
Every single business.
The government here, the city government here encourages murals. The community association.
What about the business owners?
The business. There's murals on every fucking wall.
There's also vandalism on every wall.
This is we encourage
I don't know if
murals.
it's vandalism
we
or not.
pay for murals.
I'm a dumb white man. What do I know? I'm just gonna call the police on
Yeah.
shit that I don't know about because I'm a fucking stupid racist ass white man.
Yeah.
Okay.
On my business, I own a business. I wouldn't allow it.
Right.
Well,
Then go
you're a
to your
racist piece of
business
shit.
and not allow it.
Well, I just want to make sure that this guy knows.
Well, why don't you call him?
Okay, let's call him. What's his name? Do you know the contact information? Since you're part of the city commission, I would
I'm not
imagine you
part
had a
of-
vote.
I'm not part of the
Community commission.
I'm not part of the community commission, whatever. that
Okay,
is.
community
I'm
commission.
part of the Deep Ellum Community Association.
What does that mean?
We pay for murals to be around here. We pay for
We not
artists
too-
to
you ain't even
improve
from here.
artists.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
Call 'em out.
support artists in this community.
Okay.
This is an artist in this community. We're standing up for this artist.
Yeah,
And, we would
and he
like
has
you to
permission
leave.
from the business owner.
He has permission from the community association.
And what authority do you guys have? Are you guys an elected
authority
city
do you
government?
have?
We pay
Yeah,
Ask these
exactly, white
questions.
man.
Well, I'm a
Stop
citizen. I
Yes.
have the right to call a
You
police
get
officer.
sued, brother.
Yes.
You want to
Yes.
sue me?
Yeah, you about to get sued,
Stephen
brother.
Crowder.
Yeah.
Stephen Crowder. I have a half Asian
Stephen
lawyer. His
Coward.
name is
And
Bill
you're- and
Richmond.
Oh, he's got a half Asian lawyer. Oh my
That's.
god.
I don't even know. He's like taken Karening to a new level with that. He's got a half Asian lawyer. I can't be racist.
my
My lawyer's
God.
half Asian.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Stephen Crowder is channeling.
But
all
did you
his
know the other
possible
half? It's
Karens.
not the other half. Nazi, which is a shame. But there we go. Yeah. You can't have it all, can you? You know.
The guy who hates identity politics has to drop to a black
Yeah.
man that he has.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally. I'm so against identity politics, and you can ask my half Asian lawyer. So, like, fucking hell. It's not just that, but how weak is that? Not
Yeah,
even a full
but-
Asian. Look,
yeah.
just a half Asian. Like, yeah. Don't worry. My lawyer was the outcome of miscegenation, so that's
Yeah.
fine.
Interesting. Why
Okay,
isn't he? Why isn't he a
okay,
half
okay.
white? Why isn't he a half white lawyer?
Because the other, like I said, the other half's Nazi, which is technically white, but technically, well, he can't be a Nazi because he's not in the 1930s. So
Yes.
checkmate,
Yeah, they don't.
checkmate. The thing I just made up.
Oh god. Okay, we'll finish this out, and because
Yeah.
oh my god.
You're a half a
Flat
fucking
Richmond
asshole.
Cheetah.
Yes, he is. Gabriel, I love you. I'm
Yeah.
let me have your babies. No, I can't. I'm too old. But let's try anyway. Oh yes, this is getting me slightly aroused. Okay, go on.
Flat
And
Richmond
you're out
Cheetah
here
is the name
trying
of
to
the
stop
firm.
black people from being rich.
From being
Yep.
rich?
Yeah, being rich.
How am I trying to stop you from being? I want you to be
Yeah.
rich.
No, you don't.
I want you to be a
No, you
business
don't. You're
owner and
trying
not
to
have your
stop
stuff
us. You're trying to
destroyed.
stop this on-
He's gonna call the cops on him because he wants him to be rich. God, this is just a mess. This is a mess.
Yeah.
Be on the news for sure.
I hope it
'Cause I got
is.
people who gonna look at you.
What about me?
You just a human and you trying to stop something bigger than you.
You're bigger than me?
No.
What are you, about
This cause is bigger
145?
than you. This message is bigger than you. Bye.
You just
Good.
supported rioting and looting.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Let me ask you this then.
Bye.
What do you think about
Bye
the
with
kicking in of windows and
Who
looting?
you supposed to be, Superman? Fake ass Clark Kent hairstyle wearing ass boy.
Sounds pretty racist.
Racist.
Yeah, it sounds.
Oh.
But he's not even done. Just another 10 seconds.
Okay.
pretty racist.
Cause you look like a fake ass Superman with that weak ass haircut.
Yeah, you look like a fake Wu-Tang wannabe.
Get it? Get Wu-Tang. It's summertime. He wearing a thermal shirt.
Can we do that back? Can I break balls? Can I break balls too?
You out here trying to stop a black man from
Yep.
doing what's right.
He's
Yes,
right.
I'm trying to stop anyone
He's
from committing
trapping me.
crimes.
He's
Yeah,
trying to trap me. Thank you, brother.
I'm not trying to trap you.
Yeah, you are,
the-
because you're assuming because he's black, he's committing a crime, you racist fuck.
Yeah. But anyway, should we leave the weak ass haircut Clark Kent wannabe ass motherfucker?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Gabriel Thomas. You little
Thank
legend.
you. We love you. Yeah, always, if you want to come on the happy hour and promote your art or anything, let us know. We will stand you.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And as previously described, Kristi will fuck you senseless. So,
I'll offer. I mean, I don't know if I'm his type. You know, I don't know what he likes and if he's got a way to get to Germany. But yeah, I'll get those digits.
fair enough.
Did you see his abs? Okay.
Yeah, no, he was in good shape. Shall I do my bookmarks, or do you want to do your bookmarks, or?
Well, I've
Because I'm
already
just
got the
thinking
screen
that you've
up.
just presented that,
Well, I got my
so
screen
you can
up.
have a break while.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
That's fine. All right.
It's up to you, Chris.
Well, are you getting your screen up? Because I will stop sharing if you're getting your screen up.
My screen is up.
All right. Well, if you're up, then I will stop sharing and do the special little thing I have to do in order to get you to be on the right screen and yet not give out our Zoom meeting address, even though
Who
we're just ignoring
cares?
one.
But just join. I don't care.
We're just going to ignore you because we won't even see the messages.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you got for us?
Right. We got this. We got lots of shit as usual. Anyway, yes. So Jared Holly, Charlie Kirk says, retweet if you believe the statue of Vladimir Lenin should be immediately torn down and removed from the streets of Seattle. So, and Jared Holt says, so the outrage is over the people the statues depict. Exactly, yeah. I mean, you slightly undermined the whole right-wing argument of you're forgetting history, because you realise Vladimir Lenin was quite an important historical figure.
Yep.
So if statues tell us about history, there should be statues of Vladimir Lenin as well, shouldn't there?
Yeah,
Charlie,
if
you
the-
fucking moron.
Yeah, if the acts the people committed are not relevant to them being celebrated, why should Lenin come down? You know? Because it's not
Exactly.
to do
Why
with...
not put
Yeah.
Well, why not put a statue of Stalin in every town square? That's an important bit of history.
It's history. And we're not going to
Yeah,
moralize on
yeah.
what people did in the past because it's history.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, Charlie probably... I was about to say Charlie should get a Hitler statue, but I would think he probably already has
owns
one.
Yeah,
I
he
don't
already
know.
owns one.
Yeah, indeed. I've got a Hitler butt plug, but that's another matter entirely. You can quote me on that. Fuck it, why not? Someone says, how about renaming one of the forts as Fort Frederick Douglass? Trump loves him, thinks he has a great future. That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
He literally said that about the very, very dead Frederick Douglass.
Dead for a
He's an
very
idiot.
long time, yes.
Indeed, yeah. Extremely dead. Now, apparently he has changed the Juneteenth date because he was criticised for it. But President Trump plans to have a speech in Jacksonville, Florida on August the 27th, so after that, which falls on the 60th anniversary of the brutal KKK orchestrated attack on black activists known as Axe Handle Saturday.
This is what happens when Stephen Miller books your events.
Indeed, yeah. That being the guy who's going to draft the speech on race relations. That should be fun. So, yeah, as Sarah Reese Jones points out, the not-so-subtle signalling continues.
Yep.
Indeed. This dog says, I bite racists.
Good boy. Who's a good dog?
No, that's not just a good boy. That's the goodest of the boys. I will have you know. Aww.
Goody boy. Sweet. Look at him.
Yeah.
Unless you're racist, then he's vicious.
Yeah, exactly. Are you in a fucking wildlife reserve now? What kind of weird acoustic ass situation have you got going on?
Me?
Earlier it was, you've got like screeching birds or something going on.
Oh yeah, well the birds are about this time of night. They like to play around in the sky and they sort of swoop together and they chase each other and so yeah.
But it sounds like you're in the fucking the animal enclosure. Or
Nature
something.
is healing, Kevin.
Well, clearly. Talking of, there's no segue here. Is this just funny? Kaylee McEnany appears to be a hydrated version of Kellyanne Conway.
I did see that. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I am the CEO of Antifa. just in case anyone had forgotten.
Has your mom been called by the FBI yet?
Not yet, not yet. But I'm waiting with bated breath. This is know the signs. How to tell if your grandparent has become an Antifa agent. And I can tell you that is how we're doing it. We are infiltrating the old people.
Yeah, the super soldiers, old and easily toppled
exactly.
over.
Who expect? Well, as was explained by that expert in falling from the last episode, if you remember that.
PhD in falling, I think.
Fun times. No, I said PhD in falling. He said just he was an expert in falling.
Okay.
So, okay. This person, proud to represent Killer Martinez pro bono against the police for shooting and blinding her while she was reporting on the George Floyd demonstrations in Minneapolis. That's a journalist blinded by the police. Where am I seeing where's the free speech peeps at?
Yeah, well, we've seen him punched.
This isn't
shot at.
Yeah, this arrested, of course.
Yeah, on camera while reporting.
But they're probably far too busy worrying about monetization on YouTube rather than actual free speech issues like this.
Yeah, because that's the really important thing. Yeah, their principles or the principle they earn on their interest. Okay.
Yeah, this is something. The transphobia incoming, as you can see. It's Graham Linehan. Yes. This is the comedy genius that is Graham Linehan. It says, "Hi, I'm Graham, and I am #I am non-binary. I just came out right now and can't wait to explore my gender with all of you." And he's pulled a silly face. Oh, look how funny that is.
He's working on that third
Hilarious.
chin. He's working on that third chin. I can see the crease.
Yeah. Yeah, and as the person puts out, comedy has truly peaked. Cancel all future stand-up shows and sitcoms. It's all downhill after this. Absolutely hilarious joke about non-binary people.
Yeah.
That's true. More from him incoming shortly, though.
Okay.
So, yeah. This was just, again, 57 years, this was yesterday, 57 years ago, NAACP Field Secretary Medgar Evers was assassinated by the KKK, a reminder of the bloodshed fighting for voting rights. And that's a picture of his funeral. Just a memory.
People literally died so people could wait for 3 hours to vote.
Yeah.
Or 8 or 12.
Indeed. So this guy that murdered a black federal officer in Oakland, along with murdering a cop and injuring more with a pipe bomb, was not an anarchist or Antifa, but a staunch libertarian extremist who's praised other past violent extremists. Shocker. Yeah, was part of the Boogaloo crowd. So, again, who are the real terrorists here?
It's the far-right reactionaries.
Indeed. We'll get onto the London demonstrations in a bit. I presume Kristi's got some more because I tagged her into stuff. So and she keeps a track of the news, of course. She's got her own mind and things. The statue we showed you last time, apparently so.
Thanks for telling me, Kevin.
Well, as the man, I've allowed you to have a brain, which in many respects is a mistake. But I'm testing it out. We'll see how we go. I might have to revoke your thinking privileges.
Know your place.
So, exactly.
Sorry, that's a Harry Enfield reference? Harry Enfield?
It is a Harry Enfield line, yeah. It's a piss take of 1950s misogyny.
Yeah.
So, anyway. So that was behind this grey fucking casing thing is the Churchill statue we showed you last time with the weird Tories who didn't wash it but wanted to take credit for washing it thing. Anyway, so that's central London. Parliament's just off to the right there. And Downing Street's just in the distance on the left. Anyway, and that's the statue. And they did a similar thing around the base of the Cenotaph, which is like the war memorial just up the road there, to protect them, because there were plans for a BLM march, which was cancelled because the far right were going to cause trouble. So they said, fuck it, let's not bother. And the far right went mental anyway, because they're not there for any real reason other than to smash shit up.
Yep.
Anyway, but as this person points out, a lump of bronze gets more PPE than healthcare workers. Normal country.
Yeah.
Very normal. Yeah. History's not being erased, it's being exposed.
Yep.
I think that was a nice way of summing up the current thing.
A lot of white people going, wow, I didn't realize this was the actual real world. But it is.
Indeed. Yes, so in 2020, not in 1920, in 2020, the US has finally made lynching a federal hate crime. But of course, the vote went 41-1. These are the 4 pieces of shite who voted against making lynching a hate crime.
Pieces of shit. Yeah, what do they all have in
Yeah.
common?
Tiny cocks?
I was going something a little more obvious, but yeah, I guess that might be an answer. I'd have to look to check. I don't know if I want to, though, so we'll just assume.
So anyway, Kristi,
Yeah.
who are you going to call? Clocks
Busters!
Busters!
That's good.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
good.
good.
Yeah, in line with the weird statue of Columbo and Tony Soprano with hobbit feet in Lithuania.
Yes.
In Tikrit in Iraq, do you know the guy who threw a shoe at George Bush?
Yeah.
They've got a big shoe statue with plants in it and shit.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Muntaha al-Zaidi? There we go, that guy anyway.
Yeah.
And he's got a shoe statue. Okay. This was quite nice.
Oh, I have this too.
Karens against police brutality.
Yes.
I'd like to speak to the manager of systematic racism, please.
Yeah, that
or
is
systemic,
good.
whatever.
Yeah. Harnessing your Karen powers.
Indeed, for positive. That's good. That is literally using your white privilege for good. Again, what's cats? What's going on there? What is that? Adorable.
That is
Anyway.
incredibly adorable.
So, where else have we got? Yes, Steve Mnuchin, the secretary, what do they call it? Finance secretary, whatever the fuck he's called.
Yeah, Secretary of the Treasury.
Flat out refuse. There we go, that motherfucker. The American Chancellor, that dude, to disclose, is refusing to disclose businesses receiving $500 billion in public money in bailout funds, claiming the info is, quote, confidential.
No, it's not.
That's it's not, no. 4.5 million businesses received government funds, zero transparency, unconscionable, jaw-dropping corruption, which is true.
Yep.
And I think the good point was pointed out here, oh shit, looting has broken out in Washington.
That's precisely what that is, yeah. I mean, I don't know why they think they're going to get away with this, because as soon as the White House changes hands, and I'm pretty sure Biden he's looking really good for November, all that stuff is going to come out afterwards. It's not like the IRS are going to delete those files. So all this shit is going to come out. They're not going to be able to protect these people forever. And there might be even more of a backlash if you hide it.
Another one from the show on Head's a fucking idiot who needs to apologise for past shit.
Yeah. No political acumen
Trump
at
administration. Yeah, exactly. Trump administration raises transgender civil protections in healthcare.
Yeah,
but apparently he wasn't going to affect the LGBTQ community. So everyone calm down. Yeah, keck.
Yeah, and also just thank you, Misha Collins, for sending that out. I know that you probably don't know who Misha Collins is, but he's an actor from the series Supernatural, and he's a super cool lefty kind of guy. Very he's good dude, good guy. So thank you for standing up for trans people, awesome. Misha. He's got a huge following. If you hover over his name, you probably see he's got a few million subscriber or followers. Yeah.
2.8.
Yeah, actor, baker, candlestick maker.
And he's a cell phone number. I don't think that's probably his. I imagine.
It might be one of the ones he has. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. If you attend Trump's upcoming rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you have to sign a pre-agreement saying that you won't sue him if you get COVID.
Yeah, let's have a look at it. Go ahead and read it out.
By clicking register below, you are acknowledging that an inherent risk of exposure to COVID-19 exists in any public place where people are present. By attending the rally, you and any guest voluntarily assume all risks related to exposure to COVID-19 and agree not to hold Donald J. Trump for President, Inc., BOK Center, and other affiliates, directors, officers, employees, agents, contractors, and volunteers liable for any injury or illness.
Here's my analogy. If you wouldn't have sex with Donald Trump without a condom, you shouldn't go to one of his rallies at all, because you're going to get something. So
yeah. But as Shauna points out, wait, how do you even get a virus that's a hoax that doesn't exist?
Good point.
Good point. Very good point.
Excellent point.
And obviously, because Donald Trump said it, they're down to 0 cases already? Or has it shot through the roof since then? Oh, yeah, no, it did. Oh.
Can I just say, so as we were saying off air, here in Germany, even though we're not on lockdown anymore, the mask wearing rate is really high on public transport. In shops, it's like 100% because you just don't get allowed into shops without wearing a mask. And Germany has yet to, last time I looked was like 2 days ago, there still hasn't been more than 9,000 deaths. We're still under 9,000 deaths in Germany. And the United States just cleared 110,000.
Yeah, Britain's, the official number's like 43,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the official number, which I would imagine is probably
underestimated.
The best 2/3 of the actual number.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've not been testing in old people's homes, which is the very at-risk group, isn't it?
If you just take it seriously and act responsibly and wear a mask, you can have somewhat of a normal life. But if you pretend like this isn't happening, you're going to end up back on lockdown. And that's exactly what's going to happen in the States. They're already seeing spikes in Texas and Arizona and other places. And these events, these Trump events, are going to be super spreaders. You get 20,000 people in a room together shouting and chanting, you're going to get transmissions. That's just going to happen.
Although it's a lot easier for these people to go into lockdown with people in their house because they're often married to their cousins. So that's fine. Not a problem for them.
Makes the family smaller when you have that overlap.
Exactly. You can go and visit your wife and your sister at the same time. So anyway, this was quite funny. We have not really talked about it, but there's a thing called the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, which is like a kind of bit they've fenced off in Seattle. It's not really an autonomous zone. The police could, and I presume will at some point, just clear it out. It's but they're allowing them to do a thing for now, and it's quite interesting and a positive, I think, response to a fucked up situation in America. But anyway, so that's a thing that's happening, and so these bikers for Trump. Garbage bags. Who it's very strange to see bikers licking police boot, because the police and the bikers don't tend to get on. But whatever. The quote American patriots retake the Seattle occupation zone for America. They were going to be doing.
What? They're going to try to go invade a place where the cops are like, these people can do what they want. They're fine. They're going to go attack it.
Well, they were going to.
Okay.
It says patriots. We do not need media exposure of this event until WW has readied all patriots for it. Please refrain, although they've put refrain from contacting the press about it until after we've secured our permits.
Permits for an invasion?
This is hardcore revolutionary stuff, but you've got to get the correct documentation, okay? Then we can remove these barriers and the free zone. No
free
full
the zone.
stop / period then.
Yeah, well, you're not freeing the zone if it's not, if there's no problem with the police and the local authorities, and the mayor's like, maybe we'll have a summer of love, so maybe you should fuck off. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but it didn't get that far, because it says, from the same people here, whoever sent this to the media, F you. We have Washington Post liberal Antifa lovers can confirm as the NGO.
CEO.
That's not a thing. CEO of Antifa. I forget. I've got so many titles. The WAPO are our agents, our liberal Antifa terrorism lovers. So WAPO liberal Antifa lovers messaging us saying they're going to quote expose us unquote.
I love the laughing emojis underneath as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did you think people wouldn't notice? It's the internet, mate. This is not your private little chat room, you dopey bastards. Look, it even says public. Fucking hell. Anyway, so this I just had to sort of agree with this to a certain extent. Still pretty angry that white political journalists spent more time in 2016 trying to understand Trump voters than challenging them.
There was a story that I read in the Washington Post today, actually, about the upheaval in newsrooms. That's happening.
That's our Antifa lovers.
Correct. Yeah. Yes, the Antifa hugging, loving, kissing, smooching Washington Post. They are reporting, including in their own newsroom, where staff of color and other people on staff are pointing to the fact that the media are covering the story, but who's covering the story and how it gets framed is still dominated by white guys, and the need for representation in the editorial page and in all levels of the news reporting. And so, I mean, it's interesting actually how far this is permeating, how conversations because of George Floyd are happening in a lot of different places. And they also said that in the last couple weeks, there have been a series of people who have resigned from their jobs. And if you look at it, Me Too, in the same amount of time, did not have as much of an impact in terms of removing people. I mean, over months, there were several sexual predators that were named and they were credibly accused and they left or were fired. But in this case, you had like 5 or 6 people from different kinds of media outlets, from internet ones to the New York Times editorial director, who got out and having conversations about representation. So, good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely opened a lot of conversations, some interesting ones. We can get into the potential censorship of John Cleese in a bit if you want to.
Oh,
I haven't got it bookmarked, but we can talk about that.
John Cleese censored. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, it's, I mean, anyway, it's a thing.
He's got a Twitter account.
It's not a thing, but yeah, exactly. So we mentioned earlier, Graham Linehan did that really, really hilarious post, and he got so fucking dragged for it, as you can expect. That he, for a few hours last night and this morning, literally protected his account.
And he put a penis shot up.
Yeah. And,
look at
amazing.
Me with my crotch rocket.
Anyway, I just thought that was funny. He's such a big bad, protector of the WOMs.
Mm-hmm.
Load of bollocks.
He lives in Norwich.
That was just funny.
He lives in Norwich.
Well, he's turned into Alan Partridge, yeah. Although he was actually in one episode of Alan Partridge, wasn't he? Anyway.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Indeed.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Yeah. That's, again, this is just a picture of the cenotaph, which we've talked about before. It's like the main focus of patriotism in the country. It's a memorial to all war dead, and they put that cladding stuff up around it as well, which we'll get to, was necessary, but not because of the BLMs.
Right.
It's shortly. Bum, bum. Another prick bites the dust. This time in Farnham Park, Camden, New Jersey. There was a Columbus statue already being removed, and the crowd was so angry that they didn't get to rip it down. They went there and ripped it down as it was being taken away.
Yeah.
And then they just took it away. So, good. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Also, I have to say I'm pretty disappointed in Andrew Cuomo. He was asked about Christopher Columbus statues.
Yes.
And he went, this is important to the Italian-American community. Can I just ask why? Why would the Italian-Americans living today want to associate themselves with a guy who enslaved people, who basically describes having an indigenous woman raped by one of the members of his crew, who basically started the eventual biological warfare that ended up decimating an entire continent? So how do you take pride in that as an Italian? What is good about Christopher Columbus? Seriously.
Also, he wasn't really Italian as such. He was Genoese. Italy wasn't really a thing as such.
Right,
well.
at the time,
so
correct. But geographically.
Even technically, I mean, the modern day nation of Italy encompasses Genoa, but he wasn't actually Italian, really. He wouldn't have considered himself as such. No. He was working for the Spanish. So, again, even just on a basic level, I don't know how that works. Yeah. Like, come on. Anyway. But also, the genocide-y stuff is a bit more like that's the bit to focus on. But just also, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Again, I've bookmarked the same basic tweet twice. Yeah, they get more protection than NHS staff. A statue, mad. This was a twist on an old joke on Twitter. I noted that Debbie Harry is trending and panicked in case her statue had been toppled and thrown into the sea because it was discovered that she'd traded slaves. So
that's pretty funny.
That is pretty good. And she was actually trending. I have no idea why. I don't really care. This, again, I can confirm as the CEO of Antifa. Warning, Antifa super soldiers have set up supply lines to give protesters bricks and Molotovs. This guy on Twitter.com said it, so it must be true. Can confirm. 100%. Yeah, Fox News literally caught faking. Not even just making sure.
This is amazing.
Incredible, yeah. Look at this image here. That looks credibly enough done. You think, okay, that could be real. Only literally the exact same guy in the exact same pose, clearly photoshopped, right there.
Yep.
Doesn't even look naturally there.
Nope.
And there's one more there.
They just put him in everything.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So clearly faking shit, but yeah, still counted as news. Interesting.
They should have their license revoked.
This blew my fucking mind. Can't afford books and stuff in American schools, but the LA school police, there's a schools police, will return grenade launchers, but keep rifles and armored vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Are these schools in Beirut?
What the fuck?
Well, when the equipment was purchased for Iraq and Afghanistan, and then we started to withdraw, there was all this equipment. So the feds just started, this is when we talk about demilitarizing the police. They just started handing fucking armored vehicles to local police departments. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's not like they necessarily spent money on this, but they had it, they have it, and they could possibly use it on a civilian population, which they were doing in foreign countries, but on domestic soil against, American citizens. So...
But schools. The schools police had grenade launchers. It's a fucking school.
They literally have military equipment coming out of their ears. They're just distributing it across the country.
Mental. But they can't afford books.
Well, again, this is when people talk about demilitarizing the police, this is the kind of shit that we're talking about. It's fucking ridiculous. You don't need a grenade launcher.
No. From the ridiculous to the sublime, this is a true story that happened in New Zealand. Duck walks into a pub, downs pint, fights dog.
I'm pretty sure we've covered this already. Can you click on it?
Possibly.
It might be an old story, but it's still a good story.
It's an amazing story, and he is a god. You are correct. Look how slow this is. Jesus.
It's actually not so bad. I can see it running, which is good. It's not stuck.
It's doing something.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's something popped up. It's processing a request. Ooh, more processing.
There we go. From 2017. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, still a fun story.
It is. Eternally evergreen, that one.
Yeah. Yeah, this was from Australia. That's a statue of Captain Cook, who was the guy who discovered Australia.
Yeah.
The fact that there were millions of people already there, irrelevant to the story. This dude was white, so he discovered it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the rule.
Yeah. It's a lot of defence for a statue. And this is the thing. I keep seeing this image, and all I can think is that a terrified woman calling the police asking for protection from a former partner and being told they're a bit busy at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the amount of police for a fucking statue.
Ridiculous.
Again, can confirm this Antifa story to be true. The suspicious Chef Boyardee can on wheels leads Chicago cops to shut down street. And as this person rightly points out, Antifa super tank being utilised in Chicago. That's definitely correct.
I have not heard the phrase.
Fucking road for that.
I've not heard the phrase Chef Boyardee in years, and that's fine.
Well, I'm only aware of it vaguely as an American food thing.
Food thing is a pretty good. Yeah, it's basically spag bowl in a tin.
Oh.
With meatballs or hot dogs.
America, what is wrong with you, America? Jesus.
Little tiny meatballs.
Yep. Again, heavily armed man with a Nazi tattoo who tried to march with Las Vegas police at a Black Lives Rally protest is facing a felony charge of impersonating a U.S. officer.
Excellent. Oh, I'm so glad.
Good.
Yeah. Good.
Yep.
Go to jail, motherfucker. You broke the law.
Yeah, this is amazing. The tweet is, do the male think he's trapped in there like Han Solo? Set our greatest hero free.
He's frozen in carbonite.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can't see because he's inside, but he's literally in the Han Solo pose as well with his hands pointing out. Which I literally did the hands, and I thought, I'm not on camera. Why am I doing the hands?
No one can
That's
see
really strange. Kid. Anyway, so yeah, it's just temporary cladding. Daily Mail, calm.
Yeah.
Look, he'll be back tomorrow.
Fucking chill out.
This is quite nice. The U.S. Chaz border. Breaking. American media recognizes the sovereignty of Chaz. Okay. Didn't expect that to be happening, but there we go. This is a cat with a Poirot moustache.
I love it. Absolutely love it. What is it? What is that pose? What is that cat doing?
I don't know, but I was taken by the Poirot moustache myself.
Okay, I'm done.
Anyway, Suchet makes me moist. A photographer has just had his nose broken at Parliament Square by far-right anti-BLM protesters. I'll be waiting for condemnation from the PM and the media. Wouldn't be holding your breath, though, Hassan.
No.
Anyway.
That's
Fox News again.
Oh, yeah, Tucker Carlson is losing his shit over this.
Yeah.
He's absolutely losing his shit.
But he used the image of the... of the guy again. Yeah, he used the doctored footage.
Of course he did. Hey, if it worked for Goebbels.
Absolute shit. Yeah. Exactly, he was a little prick as well.
Yep.
So. Yeah, YouTube put this out. Now, on the face of it, perfectly fine. The deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and many others have forced us to bear witness to systemic racism in America. As we take action against injustice, we also need to stop and listen. Hashtag bear witness, take action, June the 13th. That's nice, isn't it?
Well, it's not fucking enough. It's not enough.
Someone points out,
sorry,
is this you? Guess who's streaming exclusively live on YouTube? Weird N-word man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, YouTube, you don't just bear witness. You have to take action. Take action on your own fucking platform. Stop being a platformer for white supremacy. Then I'll be impressed.
Yep. Yeah, take down your basic Nazis at the very least. Jesus. Well, that shouldn't be that difficult. If they're going on about the JQ, get rid of them.
Yeah. It's not that hard.
This was quite nice. Did you remember me telling you in the last episode about the guy who constantly contacts me about wanting to fuck Polish men?
Yes. This is him.
This is him. Yeah. Although it's a new account. He hasn't always used this account. His previous account got banned for something.
Probably for harassing people about having sex with Polish men.
Probably. Well, I saw this popped up on my thing. Poland is gay. That's from Your Fave is Gay. Which they basically just says everything's gay. And I tweeted to him, thoughts? And he responded with the screen cap of that and said, none of you will ever have a Twitter relationship as special as the one Kurt F. Logan and I have. That's true. It's a unique and beautiful thing, you fucking mental case. I love it. Anyway, so yeah, for years that guy's been contacting me going, do you want to have sex with like exotic Polish men? No, I don't. This is our new model of Antifa cat super terrorist soldiers. So that's a thing. Thank you to the Thinking Cat ambassador Antifa, who I stole one of their images in space. Indeed, I stole one of their images for a thumbnail recently and didn't credit them. So I've credited you there. Anyway,
yes.
So that's just cute. Twitter. They do weird edits with cat faces. It's always fun. I mean, they literally do. It's amazing. This is a conversation. I might actually do a live stream about this on my own feelings as a soccer obsessive myself. This is Gary Lineker, former England centre forward, hugely influential guy in terms of sports broadcasting now in Britain.
Is he still on Match of the Day?
And he is. He's still the host of Match of the Day, which is like the BBC's flagship soccer program. So the flagship program of the national sport. So, a significant figure.
That's like the church of or the mecca of football in England and the UK. Sorry, like all of...
Yeah, it's like doing Monday Night Football or something in America.
You're right? Beloved, right?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, and he also does crisp adverts.
Yeah, for Walker's Crisp.
Or chip adverts for Americans.
Yeah.
So he's that level of like accepted in British society. He does adverts for like basic stuff like that. Anyway, and he wrote us this thing, and it's on the face of it, it's quite nice, but I do have some concerns, and I may get into not just this tweet, but the general the general point he makes here about hooliganism and violence within football crowds and racism and stuff. Anyway, you're right. This is connected to the violence we're about to see on Kristi's timeline in a second, or bookmarks in a second, from London today. He says, I've witnessed this sort of crap every other summer at football tournaments. Should point out that every other summer, because they have the European Championships and the World Cup basically every other second year, if that makes sense. So they happen once every 4 years, and they're interspersed equally. Other than this year, we should be in the middle of this year's European Championships, but because of COVID, it's next year. Anyway, so every other year, that's what he means, right? Some are at football tournaments for over 30 years. The association with football is depressing. Even when there is no football, the connection remains. These people are not football fans. These people ruin football for football fans. Now, the last sentence is true, but the penultimate sentence, unfortunately, isn't. These people are football fans. These people exist within the game, and this is a sort of football version of colour blindness.
Yeah, fair
where
enough.
You're not accepting the obviousness in front of your face. You don't want them to be football fans. They do deserve to be driven out from football and from society, but they're there. And like pretending they're not there doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it's the no true Scotsman fallacy.
Yeah.
Basically.
And as someone points out here, 80% of these people have the number of football league grounds they visited in their Twitter bio. But that's just a coincidence and or elaborate cover.
Yeah, I think this is kind of, as you're saying, it covers up the problem. So this is what white culture tends to do too. They try to disassociate themselves with bad elements instead of owning them. This is what we have to start to do more in white cultures, in white all white spaces, which is to just not put up with this bullshit and marginalize it and speak out against it and explain why it's wrong and explain why it's immoral. And we can't do that by saying these white people don't count. They are white people that affect the lives of people of color, and those people don't have the privilege of just ignoring those people. We have white privilege because they're not coming after us, but they're our problem, and they're causing problems for other people. So you're right. This is basically a way to cover up the problem rather than actually own it.
Yeah. So yeah, look, I don't want to be like ragging on Gary Lineker because he's generally a good dude.
Yeah.
And I think his heart's very much in the right place with this. It's just, it's sort of ignoring the problem rather than dealing with it.
And
but anyway,
just
go on. Yeah,
just like with Me Too. People had even people who thought they were being nice to victims before were really looking at their own assumptions and looking at the way the framing of demonizing victims who were coming forward influenced them. Right. And then they realized, when people on their timelines and their Facebook feeds came forward with their stories of sexual harassment or catcalling or abuse or whatever else. And it was basically a lot of cis men going, I had no idea so many women in my life had experienced this shit and had put up with this shit. And that's really what I feel like is also happening now with Black Lives Matter. And white people who are used to that old-fashioned mode of, I'm going to show that I'm a good person by condemning these other white people, then what is being realized is that there's more of a step that has to be taken. And that's the ownership, because we need to change white culture. You can't just deny part of it exists and then it won't reproduce itself. And there has to be more about anti-racism and not just not being racist, but anti-racist.
Yeah. Indeed. Actually, and just to relay a story, my sort of moment where my eyes were open to this. Do you remember Elliot Rodgers and the Isla Vista shootings and all of that? He was a misogynist mass murderer. I don't know if it counts as mass murder. Anyway, multiple murder or whatever. When all that kicked off and people were like sharing their stories and stuff, and they were all like, "Oh, I experienced violence or sexual assault from this man or that man or the other man on social media," right? And I was like, that can't be like a running thing, right? And one thing that triggered in my mind, one woman said that she and all of her friends, every woman she'd basically ever met, carries some sort of self-defense thing on them when they go out because they fear of violence. Yeah. And I thought, is that true? I don't know. Anyway, and I went out for a drink either that night or the night after or something. And there were some female friends there, and I started asking them about this. And at first they were a bit like weirded out because it's a strange thing to discuss. But eventually they got chatting and stuff. And they all did. And I've known these people for years, loved them, respected them, all the rest of it. And I didn't realise one of them had carried pepper spray. Every time we'd ever gone out anywhere, in her handbag was a pepper spray, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. I had no idea it was that ubiquitous a thing. And that really opened my eyes. I was like, that was a real paradigm shift for me. I suddenly realised, like, oh, fuck, this is a real... Like, I saw it more as a level playing field thing where people were just people, right? But actually women do face, like, this huge issue that I'd never even considered because, I mean, I'm not a rapist, so it never occurred to me that that was, like, a huge issue or whatever. But there we go. So that happened for me, and that opened my eyes.
For me, it's keys. I'll take my keys and I'll put one key in between each finger so that if I have to lash out, you can get skin and at least blood and DNA on something. So if he murders me, then at least they'll have a skin sample. That's how I think about it.
Which is unbelievably fucked up, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I found one of my friends, female friends, carries a flick knife.
Mm.
Like, that's some serious shit, man. That's really intense. Like, rape alarms are really common as well. Like, real fucking hell. Anyway, so that opened my... That was a few years ago now, but that opened my eyes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so... unless you had anything else to add to that.
Well, no, I guess just to kind of bring it back, because I had a conversation with formerly highly critical, who I've had on my channel, and I follow her on Twitter, and she said, you know, what is it, white people, why now? Why now? When these stories have been out for a while, why now? And one of the things that has come up, both that I've seen on Twitter and also my dad mentioned when he talked about watching the video, is one, it was almost 9 minutes. And you can, and for 9 minutes, you have to, you're watching, if you can sit through it, and you see the unnecessary brutality, and you see that it's completely wrong what's happening. And he cries out for his mother, and someone on Twitter said when he cried out for his mom, every mother's heart responded. Doesn't matter what your background is, you know. And so that too, I think, really transcended as the otherness, and you just see somebody calling out for their mother. And
I mean, we talked off air about the Dave Chappelle special on Netflix, which Dave Chappelle's a comedian, but this isn't a particularly funny show. It's not meant to be. It's a very serious analysis. It's called 8 Minute. It's called 8:46, which is obviously a reference to the time that George Floyd was, or the amount of time it took George Floyd to be murdered. And in that, he relates one story where he says the only other time he's ever heard someone call for their mother was when his own grandfather died, and he heard him calling for his mother on his deathbed. And later on in the show, reveals that grandmother, his great-grandmother, was a slave.
Oh, wow.
So literally, he'd heard a man, the only other time he'd heard a man call out for his mother was literally a man that he knew, his grandfather, calling out for his mother, who herself, when she was born, was a slave in America. This is not some ancient bullshit.
Right.
That's fucking intense, man. I don't know how you deal with that. I don't know, and I've said this before on the show, but I don't know how black people process that shit.
I don't know
the only reason you're literally in that geographic location is because your ancestors were taken there. And somehow miraculously survived the Middle Passage and all of that shit, and you somehow are there. I don't know why they're not angry. They've got the patience of a fucking saint.
Yeah,
the occasional riot again. Going back to what was his fucking name? Thomas was his surname. Gabriel Thomas. We saw earlier.
Yes.
The point he made about we're sparing y'all. Yeah. Look, you're getting away with the occasional riot, white America. You've gone off very lightly.
Yeah, and it's not when people say go back to Africa. People were kidnapped. No records were kept. There's no right of return. There's no citizenship that they can claim other than the citizenship that they can try to, that is from their American citizenship, but they're second-class citizen in the country where they were born. So. Yeah. I started watching the Malcolm X, and then I got interrupted. But just like the first opening minutes of it, I listened to it in a very different way, that opening monologue, than I did when I first heard it. You know, I'm way less defensive as a white person, because now I recognize the way that I've been conditioned to try to defend the founding fathers and their slavery, and to say, oh, things are different now. And when you actually open up your heart to see the hurt, and then it's talked about like what the white man has done, And you realize that's also, like, if you're a white woman, you're not outside of this culpability sphere either. It's just true. And sitting with other people's pain is very important for us to understand why we have to make the changes. It's because the problems of racism are coming from us. So, yeah. Sorry, I kind of got off on a tangent there.
No, that's absolutely fine, Kristen. Yeah. But anyway, let's transition to talking about white people again.
Okay.
Yeah. The point about what Gary Lineker has said there is interesting to a degree, because they're not protesters. They might be war fans, but they're not really protesters. They're just violent arse. And James O'Brien, again, we've mentioned him before, is a broadcaster, journalist, radio host, and all the rest of it. I think points out a really good point, which is so fundamental to what this whole thing is, underpinned by a certain kind of patheticness to it all. I'll just read it out. He says, "The saddest thing about all of this is that the more you talk to men like the ones attacking police today, the more you realise that they don't really know what they're angry about. Yeah. Sometimes it only takes a single question to bring out the whole edifice of fury crashing down."
Yeah.
And it's so true. They don't know why they're angry. They are angry, no doubt about it, but there's no real cause to any of this. It's just, I don't even know where to begin with it. I mean, that's a Marxist analysis might say alienation or something, and there might be something to that, but I think there's a certain kind of white fragility to it, or like, we're not dominant anymore. That they want Winston Churchill to be revered, because when Winston Churchill was revered, he could get away with starving millions of Indians to death.
Yeah, and I don't understand this need to, like, identify with some dead British person from the past over people today. But of course, I'm not a white supremacist, so of course this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, go on, sorry.
Okay, just on that, like, yeah, I mean, if you watch some of the videos, and there was a reporter. He's not a reporter. He's a fucking fascist who was trying to talk to these guys. But when you talk about the anger, that is exactly the kind of shit that Tommy Robinson and other people like Sargon and even Dankula try to feed off of this, telling white men that they're the victims. And then instead of blaming the actual causes, which are economic, but also, intersectional, they blame the people who have no power to change anything. And so it's kind of like the whole way that rich whites got poor white people on board in order to run the slave patrols for them. You give them a little bit of power over other people instead of money, and then you kind of like have them on side. And I think some of these guys feel like that role is kind of gone. Like that their status when they walk into a room, they're just supposed to get respect. And they don't anymore, or they probably never did, but they were told they did. And they feel entitled to something that they didn't earn, but they think they should have. And I don't get it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tommy Robinson's a good name to mention there, because he was going to go there today, and then certain BLM people, said some things, and he decided to shit himself and that.
In an alleyway outside a pub?
Unfortunately not, but I was there shielding, but he didn't turn up. It was a waste of a Friday night, if you ask me. But no, yeah, so he shit himself and didn't go. But in terms of why would British people feel the need to go into the past, it's because again, if you're a white supremacist and you're British, you want to go back to the past, because when we were great, we were allowed to be white supremacists, and we were allowed to steal everything. That's the thing. Anyone who claims that Britain's past was great, but also claims to be an egalitarian or a classical liberal, whatever, is full of shit. Anyway.
Yeah, like Sargon. He wants to go back to the time when you could just steal things from people.
Yeah. Again, Thinking Cat Ambassador. Hello there, in space. Let's be forgetting. Yeah, this was Sky News. Their coverage has been so unbelievably biased. And this would be why. This was put out to the news broadcast team. It says, in describing the counter-protest today, we should just call it a demonstration. So we shouldn't call it a demonstration by the far right, because some of the people there are not necessarily far right. We should say it's a counter-demonstration by people who say they're there to protect statues, which includes some far-right groups and military veterans.
That's a great headline.
Amazing. Note also that we should not mention Tommy Robinson, because though he was once going to go, he isn't. and has suggested to his supporters that they don't. We can be more specific. Sorry, we can be even more specific, even though they've been vague as fuck so far, when we see who's there. So basically, they're trying to whitewash it and be like, oh, no, these are concerned citizens about the statue.
Yeah, we'll see how concerned
even though there's
they
been
are.
literal threats to black people from them. This was quite funny. This is a great comeback. Someone says here, far left and far right, two cheeks of the same arse, I'm afraid. And someone says, doesn't that make you the anus? Bob, you just give up, mate. You've got to retire from the internet now forever.
Yeah,
you
done.
cannot come back from that.
Done.
You are finished. I saw this on Facebook, and I just put, what even are cats? Will the image come up? Oh, hang on. What are we doing now?
Who knows?
I don't know what's happening.
Sometimes Twitter has a mind of its own.
It does.
This is
and
a great
it's taking
picture.
forever.
I have some theories.
It is a great picture if it ever comes up, yeah.
Yeah, I have some
if
theories.
If it ever actually fucking happens, yeah.
Oh,
go on.
There's something. I have some theories as to how it might have gotten there. But you have to show the picture before to really get the effect.
Indeed.
Oh, I see. It went off of your bookmarks onto the main tweet itself.
Yeah, why though? I didn't click that.
You must have clicked somewhere that wasn't exactly on the picture, so I thought you wanted the whole tweet, not just the picture.
Anyway, there we go. Walked into my bathroom to find my cat. How the fuck did it get there? How? There's nothing to climb on. What?
Well, if it could get... Okay, you want to hear my theory?
Go for it.
My theory is the cat went from the sink to the top of the door, along the rail, into the basket.
That's a very thin rail.
Yeah, but cats are like ballerinas.
Yeah, but some are.
It certainly didn't jump up there. Oh, there goes your neighbor's toilet again.
Yes, thank you. You didn't need to mention it, really.
It's funny. Well, I just want to say it's not you.
I'm just shielding them taking a shit.
And well,
what's wrong with that?
If your neighbor's not you, we just want to point that out. You are not multitasking on the show. You are not. No, it's not the back alley.
It could be Rory.
It could be Rory Cat's taking a shit. That's true.
Yeah. Or fucking P-Dot, the next door's cat, who literally came into my house and I was just in the kitchen cooking. The back door was open. Just wandered in.
Oh.
Was just there.
Yeah.
That was nice. It's fine. Don't get me wrong, but you know, you don't live here. Like, anyway, but she's glorious. Yeah. Anyway, the white nationalists really didn't look into Taylor Swift. They just saw a white woman and went, "We'll support her." Yeah, she's not on your side, lads. Taylor Swift says, as a Tennessean, because that's what people from Tennessee are called.
Guess so.
Anyway.
She'd know.
It makes me sick that there are monuments standing in our state that celebrate racist historical figures who did evil things. Edward Carmack and Nathan Bedford Forrest were despicable figures in our state history and should be treated as such.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, that's just awesome. Yeah, good. She didn't need to say shit. You know, you don't have to say anything. But you did, and that's good. Anyway, so that's me. That's me done.
Oh, okay. Well, then you can stop sharing, and I'll drag the Zoom meeting interface back over and reestablish the share with the sound. That way, get you taken care of first. Sorry for the cough. I have a frog in my throat. Hey. I'm doing a little dainty lady cough. All right, now I also have to move the chat over because I swap their sides when it's your bookmarks. Because I'm just that cool. Okay. So, oh yes, I guess we're going down. You went up, I'm going down.
Hey. Write your own joke.
Your own joke goes here. I just thought this was a really cool reuse of this meme. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
Yeah, and it's got a little mask.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's cute. All right. Got tagged into something by Cog, friend of the show. Far-right protesters in London. Yeah. So they had these protests. We're going to see more video of it. And then some fucking thugs just decide to walk through the park and continue to be thuggish for no fucking reason. So as Cog writes, they surrounded a group of mostly women having a picnic, chanting, "Do you take it up the arse?" The great white specimens there. When they didn't respond, they were told to get the fuck up. Tell me, when have you ever seen left-wing protesters act like this towards bystanders? And I completely agree. I've not seen that at all, ever.
Yeah, because they're not protesters, these people. They're literally just drunken football hooligans. This has been Tommy Robinson's whole thing, right? I happened to accidentally stumble upon one of the very first EDL rallies in Birmingham when in like 2004, 5. And it's been the same ever since. He's been around for like 15 fucking years now, and it's the same shit. Bunch of drunken, white, Nazi fucking idiots turn up in a place, smash the place up, get into fights with the coppers, not because they're fighting the power, just because they're violent garbage, and then abuse random fucking bystanders because they're just drunken idiots. That's all that's taking place there. There's no cause here. They try to build this thing about, extremist Islam. We're against extremist Islam. They've even dropped that now. It's just violent nonsense. Yep. That's all they are.
And their body language is so, I'm sorry, it's just so wants to be an alpha male. There's a whole lot of strutting, a whole lot of like trying to take up more space, and a lot of sort of like, silverback gorillas, how they kind of like pace around.
It's attempted peacocking.
Yes. Yeah. All right. So here's people just minding their own business when these fucking white, violent, far right nationalist type thugs come along in Hyde Park. I guess I can make it bigger. And terrible camera work here, sadly. Really messed this up, but...
You okay?
Fucking pricks.
Yeah, I do hope faces were found and that the police take appropriate action.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Why would you just harass people having a nice day in the park unless you're a violent asshole?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, this guy. Yeah, so what's your impression? You want to go through these? Kev, can you see him all right?
Can you bigger it?
I think that's as bigger as
I can see. Okay, I can see. So, fuck Antifa. Well, that's not very nice. As the CEO, I will be writing a strongly worded letter of complaint. How dare you? Cease and desist, good sir. Ban Narcan?
I have no idea what that is.
Don't know what that is. Or Narcan. I don't know what that is. Build the wall with the bodies of illegals. Oh my goodness.
Yep. I mean, this guy's calling for... I'm glad they got his license plate. There should be complaints about this car.
Yeah.
White
COVID-19 is a fucking gold? What?
It's a cold. Wait, where are you looking now?
Oh, is a fucking cold. Cold, right.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, right down here.
Bottom left. Left. The Corona cold is a distraction. You got two Confederate flags there.
Check out
Kyle.
Yeah. Check out. Oh, hey, maybe I can bigger it a bit. Let me see. Oh, no, it keeps wanting to make it smaller. Dude, check out this one.
COVID-19, the vagina virus? What?
Yeah.
The vagina virus?
Mm-hmm. Real big brains on these guys. Huge brains.
What does that?
Huge.
What does that mean?
I don't even
What the
know.
fuck is that? What is the vagina virus? Okay. I mean, I'm open to sources on that. That's mental.
Yes.
Vagina virus.
It is.
Well, that's what I think we need. The show, whenever we reference it, we should now call it the vagina virus.
There we go.
Doesn't make any sense. I mean, neither does fuck Narcan, whatever that is.
Nope.
So.
Okay. Eugene Scott, he's commenting, Kentucky wasn't even in the Confederacy, and yet they have a statue to Jefferson Davis. And they're removing it from the pedestal in the state capitol. So there you go, Kevin. Do your song.
Ba-ba-dum, bum, bum. Another prick bites the dust.
Yes. And fuck Jefferson Davis. Okay.
Exactly, yeah, and you can tell it's not just about heritage. My go-to expression is that Kid Rock uses the Confederate flag. That fucker's from Detroit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's not like there are parts of Canada further south than Detroit. Behave yourselves.
Yes. Here's a good one for you to read out, Kevin. The one on top.
How many dog shit tattoos can we?
Good.
How many dog shit tattoos can we fit into 10 square miles? We go live to Parliament Square to find them. That is pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the counter protests. This is the start of many.
Well, they say counter protests, but
yeah, it's just violent thugs.
The BLM called it off, so it's not even it's not accounted to anything.
No, it's a gammon fest, really.
It is. Yeah, it's a gammon gangbang.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look at this crowd and tell me if you can find anyone who's even like a femoid. No, but honestly, it is so. This is such a sausage fest. This little thing here.
Yeah.
Okay. Bunch of angry cis guys with too much beer and way too much time on their hands. And then they go rushing the police. Tommy's name, and they get violent.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking thugs. They brought their own smoke bombs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they came tooled up. They knew, there's no way this wasn't going to get violent.
Mm-hmm. So we got those pricks. Got more of that coming up. Let's see. Oh, what did I skip here? Yeah. Harley writes, I bet Parliament Square smells like Lynx Africa now. The irony of people there to protect the Churchill statue throwing up the Nazi salute is aneurysm inducing.
Yeah, there was some Nazi salutes going on, as there always is at a Tommy Robinson gathering, which is odd because apparently they're against the Nazis.
Police are cuddling Parliament Square, gammon exploding.
That is. It's dangerous to cook your gammon that long.
All right, hope not hate. It's hard to keep up with the number of violent incidents taking place. No, there's no violence in terms of bloodshed or anything like that. Just I have watched these, so
yeah. But just note for all the people pearl clutching about violence, these motherfuckers did more violence in a few hours this afternoon than the 2 weeks of protests surrounding certainly in Britain surrounding George Floyd.
Yeah. So here are the police just fucking legging it. Because there are the Tommy Robinson supporters, the far-right people behind them, being aggressive dicks. Yeah, got some more. Oh yeah, these guys. These are we're going to talk about the peacocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Check out these guys. Who is this, by the way? I should see. Jamie Roberts. Reminds me a little bit of Dan Harmon, I think. Kind of Dan Harmon look vibe going. All right, hitting play. Did you fucking see this guy? Look at this disco move. This idiot here.
He's just dancing.
Yeah, he just does like a disco move here.
Mad.
More? Things are already escalating in Parliament Square. Bottles and smoke bombs thrown at police. As you can see, protester smacks my phone out of my hand as I try to film the scuffles, turning on journalists too. So, get this. This is great. Their shirts are off. They're shouting. They're spitting their spray all over. Yeah, real healthy.
Yeah.
But these are
master race.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the master race. Yep. So they aggressively.
But they love the freedoms of the peaches.
Okay. Oh yeah. This crowd is very hostile to any media and reporters, of course, because you know what? They don't want to be filmed because they want to get away with violence.
Yeah.
So here's a photographer. You think? Who got a bloody nose out of it by being attacked, apparently. I'm pretty sure he's got a beer in his hand, that guy.
Yeah, they're drunken idiots. That's all they are.
Yeah.
There's no, like, they're not even taking on the police in some, like, you know, sticking it to the man way. They're just drunken assholes.
Yep. So, yeah, here's more. I mean, there's minutes of it. So, more of them, the inferior race, getting drunk and beating up on people, because that shows you're civilized, I guess. Oh, this is the same crowd. Here comes this guy again. Boy, he didn't do much at the end, did he? He came with his little dance and then he just ducked out. Let's watch him chicken out. Oh, I'm tough. Oh, what do you got? So, yeah, from a different angle. Completely different point. More handiwork by my idiot brother-in-law.
What?
So this is an American
That's amazing.
outlet. Yeah.
And he's put the screw in the wrong fucking hole.
Yeah, in the ground.
He's not electrocuted himself.
Yeah, it's ground. I think that has something to do with it. That's where the ground is. But yeah, and then this one looks pissed off. He's like, "What?"
Yeah, that one does. Well, to be fair, it looks like the top one's wearing like some sort of ball gag situation, and the bottom one's like,
"What?
Dave, what are you doing, mate?"
Yep. Okay, this is another distraction. To defend against wasps, bees create a defense wave known as shimmering. All the participating bees need to respond with perfect timing when it's their turn to shimmer, and it's unclear why wasps are intimidated by shimmering. You want to watch some bees shimmer?
Yes.
I was hoping you'd say that. There they go.
Oh, wow. I mean, wasps are dumb. Why is that intimidating?
Well, people were speculating it might make it more difficult for them to judge where to land, or to judge depth perception, or throws them off in some way, but yeah, it's pretty
wasps
cool.
are dumb. I've decided. That's official Antifa policy now. Wasps are dumb.
Okay. So yeah, Jack Ramek says, I don't ever want to hear that Black Lives Matter protesters are the problem whilst in a pandemic. Look at these hooligans. They showed up to oppose anti-racism. They literally showed up to be racist. Yeah, like this guy right there.
These are the BBC's fabled anti-racism.
Yeah, critics.
Critics, anti-racism critics.
Yeah. Let's see. Confrontation with far-right with mounted police in front of Mandela and Gandhi statues a few minutes ago. Imagine the scene if they were not boarded up. So we'll watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had to board up the statues of coloured people too, because that's what they were going to do. They were going to try and take them down.
People
because
of color.
Again, this is Oh, sorry, people of color. Apologies. Because technically, the fucking Churchill statue is coloured. It's bronze, isn't it? Because the far right were like, oh well, we're going to take down statues of Mandela. That's not really equivalent, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway.
As Benjamin in the chat says, and they should all get the vagina virus.
They should. They should.
Right. It's just a bunch of white guys, a bunch of white cis guys. you think they ever get there and they look around and they go, everybody looks like me. Maybe this isn't representative.
No, that's what they want. They want
True.
that constantly. They want that all day, every day, to just look around them and see only white people.
All right, police cordoning off 100 meters in front of the cenotaph. Yeah, they seem really friendly.
Yeah, they're lovely people.
The shout, apparent periodic chants of Englander and God Save the Queen. Pretty middle-aged, this crowd. Every third person holding a beer can.
Yeah, no, it's Ingerland.
Oh.
Ingerland. Ingerland. Please.
Oh, okay. I don't know the chant. So.
Outrageous. Well, it's supposed to be England, but because they're such twats, they go England. Oh, you embarrass us, you fucking turds.
Yeah. I thought you would like this one, Kev, because you brought this up. You want to read it out?
Yes. Parody Boris Johnson. You should definitely follow that account, by the way. The UK is not a racist country. However, there are one or two bad apples who talk about flag-waving, pickaninnies, watermelon smiles, call Muslim women letterboxes and say black people make them uncomfortable. Yeah. Those are all things Boris Johnson has said.
I've said, yes.
Yeah.
Racist. I like this one.
Yeah, don't open racist inside.
I don't think that was actually painted on there. Maybe it was, I don't know, but
No, it
was
wasn't,
photoshopped. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is interesting, I thought. 2 sources have said Rupert Murdoch has recently told people he believes Donald Trump is going to lose in November. Rupert thinks Trump is going to crash and burn. It's a clear-eyed assessment just based on looking at the news, said the person who has spoken with Murdoch about the election. And what do we know about Rupert Murdoch in elections?
He generally doesn't tend to be wrong.
Yeah, he likes to be on the winning side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should see him like drifting away from Trump. At least, maybe, I don't know, Fox News will, but...
I think they'll hedge their bets. They don't want to support Joe Biden particularly, but they, he likes to be on the side of a winner.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
So
he doesn't care.
At the very least, they'll be a bit more standoffish with Trump, I imagine.
Yep. I tagged the bottom of this because I wanted it to be the setup for whatever's above it, and I've forgotten it. So, what is this? Oh, yeah, Tucker Carlson. They don't own this country. They did not build it. And, Lewis Morgan is like, who built it?
Rich upper middle class white people did, like Tucker Carlson, clearly.
Not so much. Yeah, like he ever got his hands dirty. Oh, yeah, despite massive voting problems, Democratic turnout... Oh, go ahead, finish with that.
No, I was just going to do a silly joke that he considers touching foreign people to get his hands dirty.
He probably
does. That count?
He is a racist.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but Democratic turnout in Georgia, despite the problems at the booth, soared with as many as 3 times as many votes cast in the Senate primary as in 2016.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah,
3 times as many. That's pretty intense.
You want to piss people off? Tell them they can't do something.
Yeah.
Then they'll make it a fucking point of pride. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Pretty much.
You are Zach de la Rocha if he reincarnated, if he'd already died, which he hasn't.
Hasn't. Yeah, there's a whole new generation I'm seeing of younger people who are discovering Rage Against the Machine, and that makes me happy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. And their music is eternal, unfortunately. It'd be nice in 20 years where we're like, wow, imagine when you actually had to sing this song. But, or 2 years would be even better. This chief nurse of the CNO England was dropped from the number 10 coronavirus briefings after refusing to back Dominic Cummings, chief nursing officer for England.
She's been another person fired for daring not to back Dominic Cummings. It's so obvious that Dominic Cummings is the actual Prime Minister. Boris Johnson has checked out But literally, he doesn't do virtually anything the Prime Minister is supposed to do. Doesn't do the daily briefings. He doesn't even like turning up for Prime Minister's questions and gets away with that as much as he can. Hasn't turned up to any parliamentary committees. He's not doing the job of a Prime Minister at all because Dominic Cummings is.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's disgusting because this guy's a criminal. What happened during the Brexit referendum is a clear sign of how crime does pay.
Yeah. Okay, are we ready for a cleansing little kitten pounce here?
Yes.
Okay. So it was a practice pounce and then the real pounce. No, I didn't mean that one.
Oh. Oh.
There you go.
Oh, that's adorable. Look at the big eyes.
I know, the fuzz is so fuzzy. It's all just a little fuzz ball. Okay. Oh yeah.
Rory Katz earlier, he was on the ironing board as he is wont to do, and he had his arms and legs all tucked in, and he looked like he was practicing to be a duck.
Nice.
I might try and get a picture of him in that pose again and post it to everyone because he really does. Like he's got no limbs. Mental.
Hey, over 1 million people have signed a petition calling for the KKK to be declared a terrorist group, according to Newsweek.
I can't believe they haven't been.
I know.
How many places to firebomb?
Yeah,
Jesus.
but they're white, Kevin. Come on, they're white.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Oh, this is brilliant. I don't know if you saw this. QAnon followers struggling with a crisis of faith. I'll let you read this one out. I'll do the first bit. You do the other one, right? You're like, okay, I deleted my doubting the plan tweet, but damn, this is hard.
It's okay to doubt. We're getting our asses handed to us, and it seems like Trump is doing nothing. I believe in him and I trust him, but we need some wins, and soon. There's two possibilities. He's either a swamp creature here to placate us, or he's legit. I think he's legit. MAGA. Wow.
I go with swamp. Okay. I go with swamp creature.
Swamp creature, yeah. Swamp creature.
He's a swamp creature here to placate us. Or placate us, even.
Yeah. Well, he does kind of look like, do you know the end of every fucking episode of Scooby-Doo? And they pull the mask off and it was just a horrible old white man? Mm-hmm. That's Donald Trump.
Every time.
Only it looks, you pull the mask off and it looks like he's wearing a weird orange mask. You're like, is that, no, that's his real face. Oh, good Lord. Ooh.
Oh, I'm going down now.
And I would have gotten away for it if it wasn't for you whining, meddling Antifa.
Hey, Kevin, time for the music again.
Ba-ba-dum. Boom. Boom. Another prick bites the dust.
Yes, vacant Trump Plaza Casino in Atlantic City to be demolished.
Well, that's a surprise because he usually runs casinos so well. I'm surprised that this didn't work out. I'm shocked. Shocked.
This is a really cool thing.
How do you lose money on running casinos?
I don't know.
Literally, they're there to earn money. That's all it does.
I think legally they only have to pay out 70% or something. Money. Yeah. I mean, the machines have to pay out at a certain rate. Yeah.
Yeah, you rig the fucking game, obviously. Well, and you're allowed to. It's legal. And yet he still lost money. Yes. Fucking billions. What?
Okay, science moment.
Anyway.
Science moment.
Go on.
All right. I don't know if there's any... This is just music. But basically, they found a new state of matter. They thought there were only 3 ways that matter could exist. Gas, liquid, and a solid. But when you get atoms...
The other is cat.
The other is cat.
Because we don't know what shape that is.
That is some sort of matter we haven't quite figured out yet. But when you get an atom close to absolute zero, it starts to behave more like a light particle in that it can be, it's how light can be a wave or particles. Well, these Bose-Einstein condensates can kind of they can go in 2 different directions at the same time. They have sort of the properties of things that are in the quantum realm, but they still exist in the atomic realm. So it seems like there's that connection that Einstein was looking for. So that's pretty cool. I
understood some of those words.
Okay, well, it's going to be explained on the so it borders between quantum and in the deterministic atom world. So you can see particles can behave as if they were... Ah, that's too fast! It was too fast! It was too fast. Particle can behave as if it were spinning in two opposite directions at the same time.
That doesn't make fucking sense.
Well, neither does light being a wave and a beam at the same time, but it does. You just have to get your mind around it.
I don't know that that's a thing either.
That's totally a thing. That's totally a thing.
I'm not a scientist, Kristi.
So basically,
I don't know if my complete ignorance on scientific matters has maybe revealed that to you, but I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, you know Schrodinger's cat, the idea that it can be dead and not dead potentially at the same time, and you don't know until you open it up and observe it.
Cats are immortal.
Okay. So, a riding dancer? Someone's got a tweet for us. So basically, it has the properties of sort of more like things on the quantum level. That's really cool. I thought so because I'm a nerd. Oh, they're Karens against brutality.
That's awesome. I love that science does these things, but I don't understand it. I let scientists deal with the science.
A waveform and a particulate.
Nazis.
Thank you, Faye. Queen Corey in the chat. It's a waveform and a particulate. I think I pronounced that correctly. Yeah, hey, this is good news. Boston declares racism a public health emergency, and it's giving police overtime money to community programs.
Well, America's been very sick for a long time.
Mm-hmm. But I think actually declaring racism a public health emergency is a really great way to reconceptualize the problem.
Yes. No, I think that's absolutely true, yeah. Well, the amount of people being murdered by the police, because, oh, God, a grim thing, but I'm doing it anyway. I told you about my paragraph review I'm working on about police brutality and race relations and stuff, which I'd started back in January. Actually, technically, I'd started it in December, but I'd recorded it all in January, and then the channel got shut down for 3 months and all the rest of it. And so the comedy ending to it didn't seem like appropriate given the current situation. So instead, I'm going to have scrolling by the name of every person killed in America by police so far this year, which is a fucking grim thing, and it's a very substantial list. That's a public health emergency. A lot of people are dying.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to have to transition. I don't know what the next tweet is, but we're going to find out, okay?
Okay. We'll find out together, Krista.
Yes,
we're in this together.
Oh, right. We mentioned this before about how it was Walmart, right? Or someone else announced they were no longer keeping black hair products on locked shelving.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was genuinely like someone had punched me in the stomach. I couldn't believe that was a thing. Yeah.
This person, Bombay K writes, "White friends, if you've noticed that a leading big box chain has announced it no longer keeps black hair care products on locked shelving, or that the country's top adhesive bandage brand no longer exclusively terming white-skinned matching bandages as flesh-toned, or that a Grammy award-winning band will eschew its lost cause evoking name, or if you've noticed the dozens of other similar announcements in recent days, take that as a small measure of the way in which black people are inundated with hundreds of microaggressions every day. I had stopped even registering things like the locked shelves because it was so much a given, just the air we breathe. And white friends, if you weren't aware of those things then or now, consider what a privilege it is to live your life that way, every day. No white person in America will ever see the equivalent of what the Confederate flag represents to black people flying above their state houses, where we pay taxes, work, raise families, every day. No white person in America will ever see the equivalent of what the Confederate... Oh, I did that one already. Oh, no, it's again. The Confederate flag represents to black people so normalized that anytime you leave your house, you are almost guaranteed to see it, casually, thoughtlessly displayed. Thank you for articulating... And then someone else said, thanks for articulating. But yeah, that's just it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't even mention, did we? Lady Antebellum was the band in question that was referenced above.
Yeah, she didn't name any names.
I never fucking heard of.
Nope, never heard of it.
Because I'm not inbred. I don't listen to country music. But apparently they're quite popular, and they've dropped the Antebellum, and they're now just known as Lady A, which is a thing. Okay.
Yep.
And someone said, "Oh God, this made me feel slightly old," because I saw a Zoomer right-wing idiot say, "Protect the Dixie Chicks in case the left come for them." And I thought to myself,
what?
This person must have been born after 2001.
Must have. Yeah. Oh, you're just a little baby. You don't know shit about shit.
Yeah, shut up. Literally shut the fuck up.
Sit down.
Anyway.
Okay, so also here we've got the University of Texas athletes have released a statement saying they will no longer participate in recruitment activities until a set of demands are met, including renaming buildings, dropping the school song The Eye of Texas, and educating everyone on the University of Texas's racist history.
Can we find out what the Eyes of Texas, what's the issue with that? I presume it's probably racist as fuck, but yeah. I don't know. Can't say that I know that one. Yeah, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff, like for the remaining Premier League football. Soccer
I've got that. I've got that. I've got that. Don't. I've got that.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll have to wait and find out then. Could it be an alien invasion there?
It might be.
I don't know.
I do not want to buy this shit ass song. Okay.
No, we don't want to buy this nonsense.
Oh, okay. Here's the case
against. Awesome. So the Eyes of Texas.
Do accept. From Robert E. Lee to current Texas Longhorn fans and athletes and former athletes, the origins of the alma mater, the Eyes of Texas, still bear down across more than 160 years. Black athletes across sports released a statement on social media Friday about racial injustice and requests to build inclusion that included one particular request arguably received the most attention in the immediate aftermath of the release: the removal of the Eyes of Texas as the school's alma mater due to its racist undertones, or at least no longer asking athletes to sing it after games. Not singing the Eyes of Texas with teammates is notable enough when the linebacker Dwayne Mitchell left the field early following the regular season finale against Texas Tech without doing so. It was a comment-worthy development for beat writers wanting a post-game access. Let's see, one student interviewed in 2009 said he'd stopped singing it completely after he learned of its history. Another student said she was shocked to learn about its history. Well, what's its history? I'm trying to find out. Most players...
A study first... A study first held in 1926. As far back... What? Oh, no. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, they don't go down. So I'll go down. Let's see. In the wake of the protests, the statement, yada, 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 the first petition. Okay. According to a 1926 account from Mary Lee Prather Darden, published in the Dallas Morning News and then recounted in the Alcalde, the story starts in 1899's speech to new students from the University of Texas's third president, her father, William Lamborn Prather. On one occasion in the Civil War, it fell to the lot of Texas troops to be reviewed by General Robert E. Lee, Prather said. The officer gave this command: "Forward, men of Texas, the eyes of General Lee are upon you." I would like to paraphrase that utterance and say to you, forward, young men and women of the university, the eyes of Texas are upon you. Following the defeat of Lee and the Confederacy, President Ulysses S. Grant embarked on his attempt to reconstruct the South. In 1865, for instance, General George Custer was stationed in Austin more than a decade before his death at the Battle of Little Bighorn. The presence of 50,000 U.S. troops in Texas quickly decreased to 3,000 within a year. Yada, yada, yada. I guess, I don't know. The day in 1899, Pratt addressed the entirely white student body. In fact, white elites maintained their control over education until the 1950s, more than half a century after Prather's speech. 87 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, until prospective law student Herman Sweet, who was refused admission into the university, won his case in the Supreme Court to overturn the separate but equal doctrine established by the Plessy v. Ferguson 3 years before Pratt's speech. The precedent helped set the way for Brown v. Board of Education, and against that backdrop, the 1899 white elites reference to the lost cause mythology that persists to this day was the reference that the white students of the time surely understood. And at least it was adjacent to white supremacy, even if it wasn't necessarily about white supremacy explicitly. Even to this day, that type of implicit white supremacy remains insidious, disguised ever so gently, in less explicit forms that are nonetheless easily identifiable for white supremacists and people of color.
Ooh.
As the popular phrase, "the eyes of Texas are upon you," remains in 2020 as the foundation of the alma mater and expression of so much athletic success. Okay, so that's the history of it.
You need the next paragraph is the one that I oohed at.
Okay, let me go back. Sorry, I didn't read that far down. You were reading ahead of me.
I was.
Comments.
How did you get to the bottom?
I don't know.
Jesus Christi.
No idea.
So this is the experiment with allowing you to have a brain is clearly not worked.
All right, ready to go when you are.
Where are we? I've totally lost where we were at.
Maybe it was higher up. I had a bite of my pizza.
Yeah, I can fucking see. I can hear Kristi. The camper, not
This is a long ass article.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Plessy versus Ferguson.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Shut. Eat your fucking pizza. Right. Students said it. Right. Students said it frequently enough that 4 years later, a student composed the first version of The Eyes of Texas for an annual minstrel show.
Oh God.
Sung by white students in blackface. The tune ultimately came from the Levy song, which caricatured black dialect and included lyrics referencing the exploitative labour conditions on railroads and levees. These exploitative conditions were key, but hardly the only aspect of continued white control of the economic order.
Yep.
Over time, the levee song eventually became what's known as the I've Been Working on the Railroad. Its evolution from minstrel shows to a popular children's song is an example of how white supremacy repurposed outdated, oppressive social artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
When minstrel shows finally became unacceptable by the time of those landmark legal decisions, their music was replaced with whitewashed versions that maintain the core underlying elements of and references to white supremacy. So there you go. It started off as a fucking minstrel tune.
Yeah, fuck that song. Sorry.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, I don't know why you buried that lead all the way down the fucking article.
Yeah.
You could at least put in the very first line, started off as a minstrel tune. Stay tuned for more. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I'm guessing a white dude wrote that.
Yeah, bury all that shit at the bottom. Like, start with that stuff. Start with the controversy.
Yeah, that's the fucking headline, you idiot. Anyway, sorry. Well, not idiot necessarily, just oblivious twat end. Anyway.
Oh, this is gonna piss Trump off. The head coach for the Houston Texans now said yesterday, yeah, I'll take a knee. The players have a right to protest, a right to be heard. They're not taking a knee because they're against our flag. They're taking a knee because they haven't been treated equally in this country for over 400 years.
Trump is crying, which is good. Yeah, no, there's a lot of that happening, and that's good. And I mean, Colin Kaepernick gave up a lot for what went on there, but I think can and should be looked back on as an American hero for doing what he did. He started something amazing. That, look, I mean, you might scoff at that to a certain extent. Like, there's certain leftists who look down on sports like, it's bread and circuses, but it's culturally a phenomenally important thing. The symbolism of it can't be overlooked. The fact that even with Trump threatening to fuck over anyone who disagrees with them and takes a knee, people from various sports are saying, no, we're going to do what the fuck we want. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's cost him a lot of money and all the rest of it, but I think Colin Kaepernick can and should be remembered for what he did.
Agreed. He basically gave up his career. Or he was booted out. His career was sacrificed because he believed
his career was stolen from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. His career was stolen from him. Yeah.
All right. So, yes, this person, Rami Ismail. I heard that. I mean, I haven't seen these because I don't get these kind of tweets targeted at me. But this person was saying, "I've been informed by several angry Twitter people that if I support folks tearing down statues of Christopher Columbus, I should also support the tearing down of statues of of Prophet Muhammad. As a Muslim, I say go right ahead and tear down every single statue of Muhammad."
Yeah. True. Not just that, but spend a lot of time looking for them because they're quite well hidden. But go looking for them. They're definitely there. Knock yourselves out, lads. Yeah, go for it. Idiots.
You've covered this.
Grenade launchers.
Oh,
mental.
What did you think about this? Did you see the Blue Peter team? You want to explain to people what Blue Peter is?
Blue Peter is an amazing British Cultural Educational Institution. It's a TV show that's run from the early 60s up until the present day, and it has a rolling staff of like presenters. I have no idea who presents it now, but it's always like a group of young people, usually white. Or there's just they've got better than that, I suppose. And they present this TV show, and it's sort of educational and entertainment. It's for kids, but they do all kinds of activities. It's kind of difficult to really explain, but it's like I say, it really is one of the cornerstone pieces of cultural furniture in British life. It's a kids' TV show, but it's really important culturally.
Yep. So this apparently went out, and hopefully millions of young British children across the UK and Northern Ireland, I guess the United Kingdom, so yeah, that would count, saw this. So here we go.
No doubt some of you have noticed that
I'll turn it up.
At the moment there have been protests and marches around the world that started in America, and these are because of racism. Now, racism is to have a bad opinion of someone simply because of something that they can't even help, which is the colour of their skin. Being of mixed heritage, I've suffered from it far too many times in the past.
Well, sadly, I've experienced racism too, and it makes me feel really upset that somebody would dislike me or think negatively about me because of my skin colour, which, like Richie said, is something that I have no control over whatsoever. People should not be judged by the colour of their skin, but by the content of their character. Now, lots of you may have heard people saying Black Lives Matter. Racism right now is affecting Black lives all over the world.
So mostly I like this. The first two speakers I thought were great. And I guess I'm just going to preempt this. The problem that I have with what the white lady says isn't necessarily any of the sentiments she holds, but she collectivizes the problem. She's like, we all have to do better. No. Like, we here is, you should be looking at the camera, not your co-hosts. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there because it was my one quibble with this.
But in terms of looking at the camera or looking at the co-hosts, that's kind of a thing they do. Look, it's the presenters are often do, or certainly did when I watched it, which was like 20 fucking years ago. But yeah,
well, we'll see. You'll see.
I find it difficult to criticise that. Yeah, well, I haven't seen it yet, so maybe, I mean, if she just puts her feet on the table and starts smoking a cigarette, yeah, that would be disrespectful. I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
Like Richie and Mwaxi, racism is something that I've never experienced. It's something I've learnt about and read about and heard about, but I've never actually had to go through it. And when upsetting, uncomfortable stuff like this is happening around us, it's really important to remember that you don't need to have all the answers, but it's really, really important at the moment, now more than ever, that we educate ourselves, we speak out and use our voices, and we try to understand. That is key, because at the moment, listening and learning are our most powerful tools. I'm standing here and I understand that we all need to do better. I'm talking about me, about you, us on and off camera. We all need to do a better job, and we need to stand together because this affects all of us. Racism affects all of us, and it's something that we need to fight as a team.
I'll be honest, it's not something that I ever thought I would have to discuss on Blue Peter. However, it underlines...
Is everything right?
Okay. Well, I was just going to say, in terms of what she said, that's fine, and I understand the point you're making, but you've got to bear in mind this is being aimed at...
Yeah, I know.
This is aimed at children.
I know.
So,
like I said, it's a quibble.
The thing about, like, yeah, you shouldn't center around, like, collectivizing it as it affects us all and all of that. But they're trying to get, like, a basic message across to kids, which is, yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah. No, I agree with the sentiment. But when you just look at a brown person and a black person and go, we all have to do better on racism. Like, but really? Who needs to do better on racism in this? I don't think it's the two people you're looking at.
Those two people could be really racist.
Yes, I doubt it. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to get any copyright strikes, but yeah. So, just talk about if any of you are upset or anything, reach out. So all that kind of stuff.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. It's positive that's getting out to kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Okay, we got the
and you don't need fucking ignorant pricks like Elmo to do it. So.
Sarah Cooper, she's got some of this stuff, but we're gonna skip over her. Oh yes, we're gonna go right to Kitty, learning how to bunny kick.
No. Oh. Mama's not playing that shit. Mama's tired.
She's like, yeah. Like, oh, come on, I'm working nights. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Dickhead, I'm trying to fucking sleep, man.
Pack it in.
Yeah.
Oh, I tagged you into this. This was the whole you were at my wedding, Denise.
Yeah, Dave Rubin. He's been kicked out of the Cool Kids Club. Yeah, Sarah Hader, former Muslim activist, whatever, who kind of went down the intellectual dark web route and went on his show and all the rest of it, and has basically said, "Oh, Dave Rubin's a dick." So Dave Rubin, in his usually incredibly grown-up, adult way, responded by throwing a hissy fit.
Yeah, shall I be Sarah and you'll be Dave?
Go for it.
All right. Dave Rubin is almost single-handedly responsible for the confusion around classical liberalism. There are very few actual classical liberals around, and half of them are holed up at the Cato Institute, is what she means there.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you get to be Dave.
You should have said that to me when you were on my show, or when I hosted you and your boyfriend for dinner, Denise. I won't repeat the rest of the conversation out of respect for you, which you have never shown to me. Feel free to let me know which classical liberal principles I don't hold. Actually wrote a whole book about it. Or perhaps you're just virtue signalling for the cottage industry of my bitter haters you're friends with.
Denise.
God, he's a twat, isn't he? Oh,
right. So Sarah goes, respect?
Well, it is, isn't it?
Respect, I think you're using the term wrong. And instead of disproving me, you try to make it personal. I'm not sure what going on your show 5 years ago when you appeared to be a different man has to do with today.
Lol. Please do explain what classical liberal principles I don't hold or have confused people over, or don't. Enjoy a couple likes as we both know that's what you really want. Or Kitty's got claws. Oof.
Already casting aspersions on my motives. Dave, I thought that was the job of the thought police snowflakes. Be careful of projection. Even Sam Harris thinks you've been captured by your audience.
Okay, you're a child. I have more important things to do.
Denise.
You made an accusation and I asked you to prove it. Of course you didn't. Good luck, biatch. He didn't say biatch, but you might as well have done. Being a stroppy 15-year-old. Yeah.
I think those were some well-placed.
Almighty.
Those are some well-placed Denise drops.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I'm one of the foremost Denise droppers of our age. I think we're fine.
You can drop a beat or drop a Denise.
Exactly. I drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, this is again, and the again, as CEO of Antifa can confirm, this is a legit training manual. You can tell by the coffee cup stain. That's definitely not put there for effect. Honest, this is legit, totally.
Just like the debit cards, where you can collect loyalty points.
Yeah, and the Antifa super soldiers beheading people in the town square,
and the kitty super soldiers.
Definitely happened.
Definitely the kitty super
soldiers in their big tank death machines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming for you.
And the weird little Chef Boyardee tank situation in Chicago. Legit. This is totally real and not a fever dream of fascist idiots. Honest.
So this was the one I think you were looking to talk about.
Yeah, this is interesting. Premier League players confirm they will have Black Lives Matter on the back of their shirts in place of their names for the first 12 matches of the restarted 2019-2020 season, which is basically all of the remaining games virtually. I think it's like 14 or something. Yeah, that's really good, actually. Again, it shows you've crossed a certain cultural zeitgeist or whatever, a certain cultural line, where something as mainstream as the national sport being able to do something like this, and there's not really much backlash other than from some gammon idiots. No one really gives a fuck or is actively in support of it. So, yeah, that's really positive.
Yep. If they don't want to support the matches, someone else will.
Hypocrisy in us. Well, indeed, yeah. And there's a certain hypocrisy with some of the teams having dealt with racism in the past, but I mean, it's still good that they're doing this. It doesn't make what they did in the past any better or whatever.
No.
And football authorities do need to do a hell of a lot more about racism and violence and all the rest of it. But this is a positive move. This is a good thing and a good sign of cultural change.
Yeah, and I think we have to remember that a new generation is coming up and will be socialized to this. They'll see this and they'll hear these debates. And if hopefully they will side with right, which is human equality, and everyone should be treated fairly. That's our basic instincts, anyway.
Yeah, it's so strange to me because you can't support an English football team without having black players on your team. So I don't know why you could possibly be racist in that way. Like you're literally cheering on black dudes.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying the wages of black dudes.
Yes. So why you hate on them?
It shouldn't be a Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You love them on the pitch, but off the pitch you don't care.
You're better than that person. Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. Not just that, but you dopey prick. Your ticket money means he gets to drive home in a Ferrari to his mansion. Like, what? You're doing racism wrong. Even just from like a purely, if racists want to do racism effectively, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, continue to be an idiot if you want to. That's, you're right. But just, I mean, it's stupid. You're fucking idiotic. Sorry, I've got feelings. Feelings.
It's okay. Get them out, Kev. Sorry. This is your safe space.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Another emotional cleansing. This is Elliot. And when it's hot, he likes to get in the pool when he thinks his humans aren't watching. And yes, he can get out by himself too.
Oh, okay, good.
So you can just watch him go for a little dip here.
Although I don't know why I needed to be told that, because I mean, presumably you wouldn't show me a video of a dog drowning to death.
No, but you can.
I would assume, but.
Well, you can already see the person's like, and yes, he can get out by himself as well, because they probably will be like, oh my god, well, your dog is gonna drown. No, he just goes for his little swim, and then there's stairs on the other side. So he just catches a stare on the other side.
Cheeky little dip. Oh, fucking thunder and lightning going on here.
In England, where you are.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Just seen it out the window.
Mm.
But look at that cheeky little dip. Out you go.
Yep.
Lovely stuff. 10 out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Doggery.
This, right, so you can see this is, people are hired someone to do a job, and he shows up, and he has a Confederate flag on the back of his van. Now, you can't see it yet, but you will. You will. So, this white guy...
Oh, did you hear that? Did that pick up on the microphone?
A little click?
No, the
thunder?
The thunder in the background. It was quite loud. I thought it might have picked up.
So
you can hear the fucking toilets, but you can't hear that thunder.
We're finding the limits.
How powerful are my neighbour's toilets? What the fuck? More fucking... You can hear it louder than thunder.
Yep.
What shits are they laying down? They need something that powerful. Yeah, we talked about shit too much tonight. Jesus. When I say we, definitely we have. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is from Black Women Views. The damn nerve for old boy to show up with a Confederate flag as big as the truck to a black family's house and think he was going to get paid. Black people, we have $1 trillion in buying power, so don't hesitate to tell these racists to kiss your ass. Now, the lady's much nicer, but yeah. All right, so he shows up.
It's world star hip hop as well.
Yes. You like that?
The only world star hip hop video I've usually seen is people beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, really? I've never seen. Okay, I didn't recognize the brand name. This is not that.
Oh no, because have you not heard? It's like a common cultural thing or whatever. Like, whoa, world star, woo, when there's a fight. Because world star hip hop often have like videos people have taken on their phones of like fights and stuff. It's the only time I've ever seen. I don't know what else they do. They don't seem to do any hip hop at all. But whatever. Okay.
All right. So he shows up.
I don't know. It's not my thing. Whatever. But yeah, the greater point. Yeah, black people do have $1 trillion in buying power. They can and should use. I'm not going to tell them they have to do anything, but they could make a significant impact with that.
Yep.
And you be professional. Like even if you're a racist arsehole, this is your fucking job. Don't turn up with fucking
wait till you see
racist garbage on your van.
Wait till you see this fucking flag he's got. Okay, let's just hear her turn him down.
I know you come from a very very long way, but we're going to use someone else.
She's upset with the flag.
No, I'm beyond upset with the flag. No, you don't need to take it down. You continue to believe what you need to believe, sir. But no, I cannot pay you for your services. Thank you. Have a good day.
See, that is how you channel your Karen power. That's total Karen power right there. Watch this fucking flag. Unbelievable. I could not believe this. Go, you. You believe this guy?
That's a sarcastically. I was expecting like a bumper sticker.
Oh no.
That's like a fuck up thing you see up a flagpole.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Look, it's as big as the back of his truck.
Look at that's like half the length of the fucking.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna show
mental.
up to black people's house, think you're gonna get paid to work with that shit in their front yard?
Oh, fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. Well, yeah, that I was not expecting anything quite that big.
Yeah. Well,
that's time for pandas.
Yes. That's what he said. Okay. Yes, bath time for pandas. Aren't they cute? They're so cuddly.
Aww.
They just want to like love on you. They just want to jump on you and like cuddle you. I don't understand why they don't fuck more. They're so affectionate, but they don't go all the way. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They just edge. They edge you.
Panda edging.
Yeah. Absolute cock teasers. A lot of them.
It's just so nice.
Oh. Oh, look at them. Oh.
And I was like,
they're like little people.
Yeah.
Little drunk people.
Well, there is that one famous, well, I don't know if it's famous, but the pandas that roll down the hill and the people are trying to catch them. And that has the underneath script of a drunk person on a high street in the UK. Dave, yeah. Yeah, so about the statues, the Confederate hero statues in the Congress, Pelosi's like, they committed treason against the United States and their statues are still here because their states put them here. But I learned today from watching coverage of her that there is one statue of Lee and she put it in the crypt. So when she became speaker, she can't remove statues because they're gifts of the states, but she can move them around. And she like sticks all the Confederate people in the back corners where no one can see them.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, we said he canceled that. Yes, Ron Perlman.
No, well, not cancelled it, moved it by a day. So
Yeah. Okay, so first Ron Perlman, and then we've got a Glinner story. I already kind of previewed it. Yeah, Ron Perlman, he really steps up. The giant fuck you that came in the form of a police report regarding Breonna Taylor's murder has been received loud and clear. See you in the streets.
Yeah. Absolutely. We covered that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
She was shot to death, shot 8 times, and apparently had no injuries.
Her mother was told she was at the hospital when she was actually in her apartment already dead. And her mother waited at the hospital for 2 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Again, you wonder why people riot.
Mm-hmm. But Steven Crowder's worried about, whether or not this guy's allowed to put his artwork up where he's not bothering anyone and has permission. Yeah, so this...
What do you mean? What do you mean, my people? It's racist.
Yes.
Idiot.
I don't know if you saw this, that Glinner got tricked into getting his knob out on Tinder.
What?
Yep, he was catfished by apparently an obsessive Twitter communist. So...
Well, I'm already intrigued. There's knobs, there's obsessive communists, there's catfish.
Okay.
Oh, this has got the makings of a novella.
So
Lovely
this is
stuff.
from the 11th of June. Graham Linehan catfished on dating app by obsessive Twitter communists. The former comedy writer described the painful and humiliating experience in a recent interview and spoke of the need for, quote, safe dating experience for the gender critical. What a fucking...
Oh, do you need a safe space, Graham?
Yeah. Where you can be a bigot. You need a safe space to be a bigot. So apparently they're saying, I spent weeks talking to this person. I really thought we were soulmates. I was in a pretty dark place and I was looking desperately for a little light. I was drinking quite a bit and they asked for some intimate photos. When they replied with laughing emojis, I was heartbroken and furious. I remember thinking to myself that I may never love again.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
J.K. Rowling has been amazingly supportive. We've discussed some ideas about a dating app for the gender critical, but nothing concrete as of yet. We're thinking of gender for the name.
Oh, just when I thought it couldn't get any more boomer. Oh my god. Gender. Oh,
but I just like this. Linehan got tricked into getting his knob out on Tinder.
It could have been an arsehole pic. That's intimate. You don't know. Could have just been one of his balls. You don't know it was definitely peen. Although I'm guessing by laughter. That's
laughing emojis.
How do you know it was communists?
Because just like Trump knows everything is Antifa.
Nothing in that story suggests that these people are communists. Yeah. Well, I am the CEO of communism as well, so I can confirm that they are communists, and this is our tactic to get back at Graham Linehan for not being an obsessive communist.
Okay, I just didn't have Rick Wilson retweeting Snoop Dogg on my 2020 bingo card. That's it. That's all of that. Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton guy, big fan. And I
yes, I know who this very famous man is. Yes.
Okay. Yep. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Non-binary people are themselves. I love you. I see you. Your safety and well-being are paramount. Thank you, Lynn. It's important when people who have a voice and a platform and we don't really have national treasures in America the way that you guys do, like have a category of, but I would put Lin-Manuel Miranda in that category.
Well, it's because you're essentially 50 countries.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes, but he is, someone who should be treasured by.
We're all like, yeah.
Hey, remember that?
Well, I would suggest Colin Kaepernick as another one of those.
Yeah.
I was just going to suggest Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Sorry, bad lag tonight, people.
No. Oh, you've got some violent, sexy dancing going on. I know Flint is loving it, but it was just kind of created an echo. Hey, remember when last time we were on the show, that white guy who probably doesn't wash his legs every time he gets in the shower was saying, hey, maybe black people get more incidents of COVID because they don't wash their hands as well.
Yeah.
Remember that prick? Well, he's an emergency room doctor. He's been fired for using racist language to question whether people of color are disproportionately affected by COVID because of poor hygiene. You are about to lose your job. And actually, if you find any of these racist ass white people who say racist ass things getting fired, it is only a matter of you just have to scroll down for a little while and someone's going to be singing, you about to lose your job. I'm going too long now, but I did check there was one here, but we're not going to go down and check it. But yeah, good. You should get fired, you piece of shit. You can't be trusted to treat patients without being a racist.
Well, exactly. That it's actually genuinely a risk to the people involved. If you're a racist doctor, you can't be trusted to give to
impartial,
uphold your Hippocratic oath to color.
Fair, impartial, equal medical treatment and take people seriously. Absolutely not. That was me. I was done.
Sorry. I was just going to. Is that true about John Cena? Giving Black Lives Matter $1 million? That's awesome. Because WWE fans are racist as shit.
Oh yeah, someone said that they had a dance for us. So let me check my notifications, and then we'll do that. Okay. Don't see it. Did anyone ever follow June for her incisive political analysis? I don't think so. Is this it? I don't know. Let's just say, it's a cute kitty. That's a damn cute kitty. Aw, the sleepy paws. It's giving itself a little eye mask because it's too bright.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, someone said there was a dance. I don't see any dance.
You are ignorant.
People are shouting at me. John Cena thing is true. Someone in the chat saw it. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Theria?
Let's go. Well,
is that how you said it? Thyroid?
Thank you, John Cena. That's it.
Yeah, excellent.
Theria shouting. Yeah, awesome. Good, yeah, because as we said with NASCAR, a lot of WWE fans are rather reactionary thoughts. And so he's taking something of a risk, but that's, people need to stick their necks out a little bit. Good for him.
Yep.
John Cena joins effort to match BTS's $1 million donation. Yeah, awesome.
Do you say BTS's? Is it BTS fans?
Yeah,
BTS fans raised $1 million for Black Lives Matter?
Apparently.
K-pop people. Is that the same? Yeah, K-pop supergroup fans. Man, they are a fucking army.
Yeah, that's as described. We did not expect the K-pop fans. It's one of the most unusual player 3 has entered the game moments. But it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
That's I'd never considered them. As anything other than, they're interested in a type of music I don't know a lot about, and that was it. But they're clearly pretty badass.
Yeah, they're a swarm. Like, when they set their mind on something, you better watch the fuck out. Because they will do stuff. They will move mountains. Wow, that's really impressive. That makes me really happy. Well, hey, there's a positive thing to end the show on. I don't know where we'll have to do the dancing protesters next time, because I don't see where we were tagged in. So we'll have to wrap it up there.
Yeah. So anyway, Matt's Hummels.
Yes, and brought to you by Hummels Figurines.
Indeed. And,
Should we...
Shall we what?
I was going to get out... I was going to do... I'm actually going to look up some Hummels.
Why?
So we can...
Didn't we already do this joke?
They're just so hideous.
They are awful. Tat.
They are really...
Look at this. Oh, there's those Nazi salute ones. God. What the fuck?
Oh no! They've got little wave. Yeah. They're waving goodbye. They're at a train station.
Okay.
Auf Wiedersehen. It's Auf Wiedersehen, Hummels. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it just in that thing, it looks like they're giving Nazi salute.
It does. It does from here. It just looks like a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
And it's not. Okay. It's handkerchiefs. It's fine. Yeah.
Also, how short is that little child's dress? That's a bit much. Good lord.
It's got the wind. It's blowing up, I think. Kid with a dog. There you go. He's going to rip his stick.
Lot. Oh, Jesus. This went dark.
There you go.
Goose stepping. Jesus.
Maybe stay away from the Hummels.
You can't do anything about Germans without it being Nazi. John Cleese was right. No, we're not ending on that fucking sentiment. No. What a garbage bag.
Okay.
Another fragile white dude who's fucking never faced any real hardships. Who's like, oh no, a show I made 45 years ago is out of date now.
Yes, quite out of date.
And people don't particularly like it. Okay.
Yeah, it's dated. Yeah, that happens. Yeah, so I think that's the end. We've run out of things to do. And I've got another show in 20 minutes. So this worked out perfectly. And I burped.
Yeah.
If you sit on air long enough drinking water, eventually it's going to happen. So usually you're talking.
Well, you do it. You pull a tase on day. You turn away from the mic to burp.
Well, I did close my mouth and try to just muffle it, Unlike what I do when I'm alone.
It didn't fucking work.
I sound like a pterodactyl.
Exactly. I'm now imagining you dressed like one as well.
No, I want to dress up as a T-Rex with the little tiny hands.
You don't need to miss PragerU. I unprivated. I publicated all of the Prager FUs, and there'll be a new one in the next few days.
Woo-hoo.
So you don't have to miss shit. Anyway, so I need to say goodbye. Thank you, Flint, in the chat, for reminding me how to run a show. Anyway. Right, so thank you to everyone for your listenings and your watchings and all that shit. Goodbye from me. Say goodbye, Kristi.
Goodbye, Kristi.
She did the bit. Live streaming isn't available. What?
We're trying.
No, it's still. Yeah.
It's still going. Thank God I'm not still doing the E sound. Refresh the page.
It's.
You're about to lose your job. You're about to lose.
Streaming isn't available at the moment. So how is it still going then? I don't know.
I can end the stream on my side.
Is it still on?
I have no idea. I haven't been watching. I see the chat. People are saying goodbye.
Use YouTube as Kevin Logan. What? Why is it? What the? Just end the fucking stream, Kristi. This is ridiculous. I don't know why it's.
I'm gonna stop streaming.
Use YouTube.
I'm gonna stop streaming, so it'll just be black screen. But that's okay. It'll just be goodbye.
Yeah, I don't fucking care. Bye.